fuckers with me. We're gonna go down to the Fire River. Anyways. It's been a little bit. We skipped last week. The last person who recapped, I believe, was Devin. So I'm just gonna take the piss for the team, and I will recap myself. Because at the start of last session, we had picked things up where we left off in the factory within the Isle of Contempt at the behest of Dr. Percy. You're on a mission to find some information and take control of some machines that he knew how to operate. Of course, being on a series of catwalks suspended over a purple abyss proved challenging. There were these service cloaks that were in the area that were generating their own time stop field, and as the party disturbed them and moved them from one point to another, certain creatures that were locked in time became free. A series of mind flayers attacked the party and were quickly dispatched while Percy extracted information that was needed. Through the encounter, one of the service cloaks was hit with Dispel Magic thanks to Dagny, and it began to shed its cloak. Underneath was what appeared to be a floating lantern. And this lantern, as it was inspected, has lifeblood energy within it, to the extent that the metal around it is also made of the same energy. It appears to be all one sentient entity of some kind. They appear to be a separate party, not necessarily part of the rest of the system, according to Percy. Continuing through the complex, you and Percy were able to get the rest of the needed information without unfreezing certain hazards and playing it smart on moving the cloaks intelligently. There you had located a way to get further down into the crater to find the source of this spatial temporal miasma and hopefully information on the reason you came here in the first place, to find Startographer Genesis. Reaching the bottom and seeing a vision of Startographer Rylock having a conversation with Genesis, you came across a few Hellfire engines. These engines appear to be retrofitted and hooked up to additional machinery to serve as a form of generator. They're emitting a glow of hellfire, suggesting they're very much active, although how they're retrofitted is not entirely clear. The soul lanterns had a particular interest in these engines. They seemed attached as if there was something that they wanted when it came to them. However, pulling them away and continuing, you decided to ultimately leave them as they lay and continue further into the Distortion Zenith, where we are currently finding ourselves here. Round of perception rolls from everyone.
Jesus.
Ayo!
Check.
I can't see shit.
That's a shame. Let's see how you do.
I'm too busy thinking about Dr. Percy's lunch that he mentioned was here somewhere.
All right. Having a moment to collect yourselves and assess your surroundings, you would see that there is a small series of tunnels that go off in a myriad of different directions. It seems like these are something of tunnels that have a considerable amount of pipes that are attached to the cavernous ceilings. This part of the complex is less industrial, like further up above, and it's more stone-like and cavernous. Stalactites abound. This is less so man-made and more so carved out by this anomalous energy that is permeating through the air around all of you. You're all effectively in this material now, to an unknown effect. But you can see, for the group check that was, well, good enough, that ultimately there is a larger tunnel for which all of these pipes are connected, leading off into a man-made area that rounds a corner. It looks like there's a bit of a some sort of, almost looks like stonework that leads into a more established area. You think that research or some sort of work may have been done further ahead. And while that's going on, the roar of the Hellfire generators are reverberating through the walls. The soul lanterns are staying with you. Their ultimate loyalty appears to be with you guys. However, they do seem to almost want to meander towards those Hellfire generators from time to time.
Like anytime I see that, I'm just gonna tug by the handle and make sure they stay on course with us.
You do so. Let me see. As for Nadira, who had rolled pretty damn good on perception, you would notice one curious thing surveying these machines in greater detail. The orangish glow of Hellfire is prominent throughout the 3 generators. However, there is a shielded compartment that is found on all 3 that's giving off a soft white glow in addition. It's not Hellfire, there's definitely more at play.
Suspicious. Kinda wanna touch it. Usually doesn't lead to anything good. Are we able to get like all up next to these things?
Yes, you can definitely get up close, and you can feel the warmth of these generators rather within a few feet. You think that leaving your hands on the metal for a long period of time is going to hurt, but they're not an innate threat otherwise.
And is the compartment that's glowing? Stop throwing things at me, you fucker! I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I lost my train of thought.
I waited until you.
You're a dick. Going up to the compartment that's a different color. I'm sorry. If I hold my hand over it, does it radiate the same heat as the rest of it?
No, it's a bit of a softer glow. It's warm in a different way. Not so much actual thermal heat, but it almost has this inviting feel to it, which is odd considering this is a infernal contraption.
I'm gonna touch it.
You touch it.
Mistakes are made.
One of the soul lanterns, the 2 that you have in your possession, they do kind of mosey around through all the various party members, and in due time, one would come over to you. And within the contact that you have on the infernal iron, it's definitely quite warm, borderline hot. Although this contact gains the attention of one of the lanterns that begins to come right over to you. And it would place the bottom base of its lantern right above where your hand is. It too makes contact with the infernal iron, and you feel that almost too hot to touch sensation begin to fade, as if it is looking to assist you. You can see that there is a crease line, and you think that with the right grip, this plate that you're contacting can be lifted.
I would like to try lifting somehow, magically.
Okay.
Best friend lantern.
Roll strength with advantage.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You got this, bestie.
Oh god.
Ooh.
Not bad.
I've rolled way worse like that.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Hey.
Pretty good.
It seems like the lantern is helping your efforts. This is infernal iron. It's heavy, it's solid, and it's immutable in its form, as far as you're concerned. But with a little bit of elbow grease and a bit of a whisper in the back of your head assisting you, you manage to get this thing up. And you peer in and see that there is this anomalous white light that's suspended in the center of a circular chamber. And upon opening this, it would immediately rise up.
Oh god.
And you see this light would begin to change and flicker and would form itself into a new shape.
I fucked up. It's a moon lantern.
It seems you just freed another soul fragment lantern, whatever these are, and it forms the base and joins the other 2. You
Yeah.
do seem to feel a shudder in the machine as you do this.
Uh,
Like a bad shutter, or like this thing's about to blow up shutter?
Like a piece of heavy machinery malfunctioning.
Oh, cool. Blow up. I like to run to one of the sides of the other machines.
Okay.
If it's gonna blow up, I'd rather be behind another one.
Yeah, everyone else would see pretty plainly that Nadira, through her investigative work, just extracted another soul lantern from one of the generators.
Said it was a bad idea to let me touch things.
Is the generator still running?
You can see that the hellfire through the grills is beginning to flutter. It's beginning to dim, and then there's a spark of it becoming a bit more violent, and the steady, smooth glow is now volatile. It seems like the machine is beginning to struggle in its efforts.
okay,
Whoops.
Seems to be some sort of power source.
it seems so.
The lamps had a baby.
Definitely what happened here, yes.
I'm resisting my inescapable urge to put Tin Petty in there and have him ride around in a mech suit.
No, he doesn't deserve that.
Is there a convenient plug leading into a cave outlet?
Yeah, I mean, there's that caveway going forward with a bunch of pipes leading to that I mentioned that should something get a bit unsafe, you feel like it might serve as a good point of cover.
I mean, it's worth freeing the others.
I will reiterate, this is... Boop. That is what these things look like.
How many
Damn.
of these things are there? You said there were 3?
Yep. There are 2 more that are untouched that are giving off a deep hum.
I mean, we know what's running these things now, but I fear if we take all of them out, it's going to make everything a little more,
Gonna make a nice boom.
I feel like this is something that we need to save for it being absolutely necessary if things go awry with Genesis.
Yeah, and we should probably also keep in mind, we don't really know what else is down here. If we start killing these generators, something might take notice.
Yeah, but I feel if we do anything now, it's going to raise the timeline considerably more. And we're already losing time trying to find Justice as it is. We don't even know if he's here or not, but I think we need to keep moving and at least keep these generators in mind for now, since we know how to at least make them volatile.
With the small accumulation of you over by the generator inspecting Adira's work, with that hatch open, it is plain to see you can look into the interior of this generator, and it is mind-bogglingly complex. Much like the facility above, the workings of this are simply beyond anything you've seen. It's a far more advanced technology than anything Highshire ever had. And being close enough, and referring back to previous perception rolls, you're all able to look deeper into the machine to see the pinnacle of the hellfire glow that is coming from this machine. There's a central chamber in the back that is housing this small fiery orange pinprick suspended midair. And you can see that there's a bit of spatial distortion around this pinprick. And you get the idea that that's a tiny little portal that seems to be spewing out heat. It seems to be the thing that is now failing.
In the time since the Soul Lantern was removed, has it changed in size at all?
The edges are beginning to soften, and it is sputtering. You think in due time it is going to collapse and shut.
So the
Okay.
lanterns maintain some sort of portal.
Yes.
Holy crap. This archaeotech is crazy.
Spicy
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Doctor.
You look over and you can see Percy is inspecting one of the remaining generators. And you can also notice that Destined is nearby, is next to him. And you can see that since now that Destined is within proximity of one of these machines, you can see that the plates that compose his form they almost look like they're misaligned. You can see there's a head twitch. Something's a little off about him. Percy seems to notice this and has a split attention between the generator and Destined. But he looks over his shoulder and gives you a wave from across the room. Yes.
Yeah, if we take away the soul lanterns powering these generators and all these portals collapse, would that affect the machinery above us?
Now, I don't recall Hellfire powering anything that we had up there. We had more safe ways to operate. But these machines are extraordinary. It's something that I never got the chance to touch, but I would suspect that these generators are powering something that is, well, I think it may be connected to the miasma. For them to go to otherworldly lengths to create a source of power. Based on what I'm seeing here, I think these lanterns are what is keeping these little portals open.
It would seem so. It seems like the portal's on the verge of collapse, though. I wonder, or I worry about how the environment, how it's going to react at the time of its closing, whether it's going to be a cataclysmic explosion or just a small pop. It's hard to tell.
Well, there's 3 of these, so I imagine there's a semblance of redundancy. You have that soul lantern now, I can't imagine it'll be easy to put back in there. There's probably a process we don't understand, so I suppose we're gonna find out one way or another.
Do you think it best we remove them all?
We should maybe wait and see the results of this first generator shutting down. Maybe from a distance.
Yeah, she nods her head and then she turns her attention over to Destined.
Destin this whole time has not really looked over. He just seems to be off to himself, staring at this generator and is completely fixated.
She is just gonna go over and she will touch the top of his hand.
Ordinarily, his form is cold and metallic. There's a warmth that is coursing through his metal. You get the idea that it might be ultimately coming from the keystone in his chest, as if it's resonating with the rest of his body. But he looks over and he seems to have his attention broken from this generator. Get your hand off me.
Are you alright? You're warm.
I'm not sure. But like I said, I have experience with infernal iron and a hellfire engine, and I'm wondering if maybe these have some sort of unseen connection to me.
Your plates are misaligned. I think you're having some sort of reaction to it.
Well, that could be either a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. I think to ultimately see what happens with the generator since we removed it is probably the best course of action to see.
Well, I'm more interested in these machines than anything with this Genesis business, so if you want to mess with these, I suppose we're both gonna find out, but, I mean, it's not like there's much else to do here.
Yeah. We should probably give it some distance. I don't know how it's going to react. And she'll go ahead and back up about 25 feet away from the generator.
Okay. I presume everyone else is giving it a wide berth.
Sure.
I have a question. When we first got down here, the voice that said power in my head, have I heard it since?
No. You have in the back of your mind the idea that if these machines were repurposed in some way to be restored to their former glory, then power is almost an understatement on what they're capable of. But you're a bit at a loss for how you would get something like this outside.
Okay.
But I imagine everyone is giving this thing space.
Yes.
It would be a few short moments where the hellish glow on the generator would fade almost completely, all but the tiniest spark. And then there is an abrupt burst. A shockwave that is sent echoing throughout the chamber.
What?
The generator goes dark. It appears that portal shut, and the final mechanical throes of this machine come to its final halt. There's a bit of a quake in the air that shakes you in your core, but nothing else really appears to have happened.
It didn't shake anything loose in the cavern, did it?
No. It's less so a physical shockwave and more like a spatial ripple.
You killed it.
In a sense, yes.
I suppose trying our luck with the other two is something of a gamble. But at least we know that these things aren't inherently a bomb.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
This is the third one of these lanterns we've collected. I'm beginning to wonder their significance.
I mean, lifeblood energy's pretty powerful.
B-Man, can you remind me, when I detect thoughts on this thing, I pretty much ascertained that it was a part of a larger consciousness.
Yeah, you felt like you were talking to a piece of something larger. It was able to basically get very basic thoughts out onto itself. Like it was issued a command, and it has held on to that command since its severance from whatever it came from.
Yeah. The Harpy will chime in. Lamps are the pieces of a bigger whole.
What? Well, I mean, lifeblood obviously comes from someone. This is Fey energy. Fey energy, it's usually neutral in nature. Could they have extracted this from some powerful Fey being?
Percy would watch as the three lanterns now seem to have a resonance with one another, as if they were in a choreographed dance, and chimes in again. I'm not sure if these are Fey or not. This is... Well, I'm not an expert, of course, but I would suspect that, Honestly, I thought I had something better, but I'm really drawing a blank.
If I'm thinking of it this way. Celestials, they're usually... Most Celestials are associated with somewhat of a good energy. Positive, in a way.
Well, as long as those Celestials aren't the angels that committed genocide, then yes.
And fiends are usually associated with some sort of evil energy or negative energy. Fays have always been sort of in the middle. If they were utilizing this lifeblood of the Fae to sort of neutralize and sort of maintain the portals within these Hellfire engines, you'd have almost an unlimited source of power. And removing that would destabilize the portal and shut it down.
Souls are a very powerful form of energy. And considering that these lanterns have a bit of a soul in each, and their ties to the infernal machines here, now, one thing I do understand is souls are valuable in the lower planes. So, perhaps the fiend connection is undeniable. I, again, thought I had something there, but my head is just... it's not here. I'm sorry.
It's understandable. I've noticed your thoughts get a bit scattered sometimes. Maybe your brain's just trying to heal itself.
So what you're postulating is that the inherently neutral nature of the soul is somehow keeping this hellish portal stable.
Yes.
Sort of counteracting the elemental evil.
Yes.
That's an interesting theory.
While they're chatting, I did want to go... Ow.
Sorry.
While they're chatting, I did want to go over to the lamp dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to test something out. I wanted to cast Detect Thoughts now. Because I think, from what you told me earlier, that with more of them near each other, the smarter they are. So I'm essentially gauging that with Detect Thoughts.
You put your hypothesis to the test, and you cast Detect Thoughts on one of these lanterns, only to find that it connects with all three simultaneously. Having this connection established, you can see that these three are tethered together and are within perfect synchronization. It seems like there's a series of voices that are concerning one another. They are working together to form a larger narrative, a singular train of thought that's significantly more intricate than when you would try to do this on a single lonesome lantern. It almost seems like these three are attempting to make sense of their surroundings. They are particularly interested in the party. More so, they have a affinity for Erythal, Dagny, Cobweb, and Nadira.
And this narrative they're reading beyond looking at their surroundings, is there anything else I can glean?
There's a few passive thoughts. It's as if they are very technical observations on the generators, at least the current state. Thoughts on how to maintain them, and just, it's a bunch of conflicting voices that are slowly coming together in a form of agreement. And you can glean that there is, in fact, two more of these soul fragments in the other two generators, and there's a desire for these three to be unified with them. It seems like one of their most pressing desires is to become more whole. However, there's also an air of concern that removing these souls from those generators may have some complicating effects. So there's not really consensus among them. It seems as though they're debating.
Yeah, I'll squawk over to the party after hopping back to them. Hey!
What is it?
3 want to be 5.
You detected that?
Yeah. Pieces of a whole. Repositioned and moved. Replaced and swapped out. It wishes to be whole again.
Trying to form a thought.
Hmm.
She'll go up to one of the Hellfire generators and try and find that one compartment like Nadira had found.
The Council of Lamps is worried, though.
Oh?
Thinking about these big things, Jenny's. Maybe dangerous, maybe not. The Lamps like you, too. And you.
They do.
And you. And you. And also you.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I think it's more than that, Cobweb.
Hmm.
There's only one thing that connects all of us. Going over to the apartment and touching it.
You make contact, and the lanterns are quick to follow, as all three of them are mimicking your movement with make contact, and it seems as though their will is now pretty strong with the three of them helping you. With no check needed, you are able to lift that compartment, exposing yet another soul fragment. It would only be a fraction of a moment before it seems to snap to, making sense of its now freedom, and would shoot out of the compartment and would form a fourth lantern.
I'll walk over to the last machine.
Yep.
You walk over to the last machine, but there is a bit of a shudder that would permeate once again. You can see the tiny pinhole portal powering the hellfire within is once again beginning to shudder, but that shockwave happened immediately, not gradually.
I'm gonna have to be quick about this.
All right, then let's work fast.
Yes.
All right. I presume while the second generator is sputtering its last throes of life, you are trying to work on the third?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. You all move forward with the now 4 lanterns in unison. Everyone would collectively lift that compartment and would free that 5th fragment that, much like the other 2, would form into a soul lantern. And the 5 are now in perfect sync.
Yeah.
And there is
definitely put in some distance.
Yeah, it's almost instantaneous before you have a chance to make headway. That the second that this fragment leaves the compartment, there is a violence in the air. And suddenly, walking is very difficult because the ground no longer appears to be solid, and everyone is now floating midair.
Oh shit.
You can fly too?
I mean, technically yes, but this was not the plan.
Your surroundings would deteriorate, and gravity is no longer a given.
Seems the generators are doing more than just powering something.
You can see that edges of the cavern now fracture as time and space is now becoming something of a soup, where there is no rhyme or reason to the cavern anymore. There's still a fragment being retained, that hallway that was moving further down that had all those pipes. The rest of the surroundings appear to be nothing but madness. Should you wander into this strange aberration that once was reality, you're not sure you'll be able to find your way back.
Yeah, like trying not to float off. I'm gonna try and cling to the person that's closest to me. At least try and hold their hand so we don't lose each other.
That would be Nadira.
Yeah,
That's great.
just grabbing your arm like.
Given that everyone, I imagine, is kind of drifting off in different directions.
Slowly but surely.
Am I able to, like, in control of my own flight with my wings here?
Yeah, without gravity anchoring your flight patterns, it's really easy to overshoot things. So you can move around. There still is a medium of air here, so I'd say just give me an acrobatics roll to see if you can manipulate your way through this mess. Hey!
0G flying.
It seems as though you're a natural to this. And it seems actually easier to fly in these conditions, as a single puff of your wings will shoot you off in the desired direction, and you would retract your wings and give a bit of a fluttered stop in order to stop yourself. You have
Yeah.
full control.
I wanted to take the time to essentially bonk into people and knock them all together into like one big cluster.
Trying to keep everyone together, you naturally would go after Percy first, as he panicked and fumbled and was drifting off the fastest. You can see his arms and legs are flailing and his eyes are wide as he is a bit clumsy in his descent into madness. But quickly you bump him back towards everyone else, and in a careful balancing act, you manage to get everyone to slowly drift towards a central point that once was the center of the room. And everyone is able to grab onto one another to get steady.
This is fun.
This is madness. There was risks.
We had to take the chance while we had it. What are the lanterns during this whole thing?
They seem to have bundled together and do not move apart from one another any more than a couple of inches. It looks like the complexion of the housing of the lanterns has almost melded together and is forming something of what you can only describe as a chandelier. The 5 small white lights congregate together into a larger one.
Can I zoomst over and go ahead? Because I imagine it's whole now. It's done a thing, so I imagine it's smarter again.
Mm-hmm. Do you cast Detect Thoughts at will?
No, I am spending spell slots.
Okay, I see. All right. Yeah, if you want to read it again, then go ahead and ping the spell slot.
All right.
It seems that this consciousness has gotten even more complicated. There's even more voices now that are debating and considering possibilities, observing situations. It's almost like it's narrating to itself what it sees. Several different voices at once. And you get the premise through this almost assembly that reality, space-time, as it calls it, is beginning to drift apart. There is great urgency, a tinge of fear on something straight down, and a sense of urgency that is directed towards the cavern that moves forward. The hallway that has all those pipes that seems to lead to what is still intact of a room. And before you have any chance to further examine that, it would begin to drift off on its own in that direction. The only remaining few thoughts before the connection becomes too weak is a series of what sounds like very complicated mathematical equations.
The Council of Lamp Nerds is leaving.
We need to follow it then.
I'll go ahead and go to the clump of humans. I imagine they're all clinging to one another after bumping into each other.
Yeah, I would have reached into the bag of holding and pulled out my length of rope and have everybody attach themselves to it.
I presume everyone is abiding by this course of action.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Since
Yeah.
I have the best control here, I'll grab the rope.
I would give one end to you especially, because
Yeah, I'll grab it with the talons and start pulling this meatball through time and space after the lamps.
Okay. There we are.
Liquid madness. Don't touch the liquid madness.
And with everyone unceremoniously wandering, you would follow this lantern into this hallway. and everyone would drift before you get a decent ways into this hallway with a series of pipes overhead where gravity suddenly would take effect in this field and everyone would clamber onto the ground. I think I hit my head again.
At least you're still alive.
Oh, hey, that's back.
Oh, I haven't felt that pain in my back in a while.
Lamps! Where are you, Lamps?
Oh, shit.
They
Trying to look
appear
for the glow of the lamp.
It seems as though it has gone on ahead, following a will of its own now. There appears to be a large corridor. There's a few offshoots and smaller doorways that go this way and that, but most of these smaller tunnels, as everyone moves and peeks through them, see that they wind off into madness, much like the main room. However, the main hallway appears intact.
I shall burst fly after the Council of Lamp Nerds.
Okay.
Following after Disa.
Everyone would collectively follow, rounding off through this main hallway into a larger chamber. And enter you would.
Oh no. Oh,
Ah,
fuck.
jeez.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
There is an air in this room that is unsettling. Something a bit more sinister resides here. You can see cutting through the air is spatial tears that you are familiar with. Tears of time stop, no doubt. There's magical torches that remain lit for who knows how long. You can see that across the way there is a faint ethereal white glow that you're sure is responsible of the lantern positioning itself where it intended. There's a faint metallic tinge that you can smell for those who can smell. Blood.
In we go, I guess.
Yeah.
There must be food here.
Proceeding with caution.
I'll say I'll go this way.
Same.
Yeah.
Dagny, you round this corner, and there is an intensifying smell as from when you had first entered, but you would hear a metal bang come from this large crate from which you pass right by. Unsettling.
Is there a crack in it at all where I can peek in?
You can see that it is very sturdy. Someone went to great lengths to make this thing as strong as possible, and you can see a faint shimmer on a central plate that is facing you. A ward.
Like, she almost reaches out her hand to touch it, but then she stops herself. Because she doesn't know what this ward does.
Nope.
And she's just gonna turn to Nadir and say, "Don't touch the box." Please. And
Nice box,
is
nerd.
good. And it's just gonna start walking forward.
All right. You would enter this larger chamber, and this appears to be at one point some form of ceremonial hall. There's robed figures in alcoves and these columns with this purplish magical fire. It almost seems to bear religious or some sort of significance relating to a cult of some kind, specifics for which are lost on you. But the more interesting aspect of this room would be this large circular platform to the far east, you can see that there has been some work done to create something of a circle with a 5-pointed tip something that seems to be the source of the tinge of blood in the air. You can only assume that this place is as old as the rest of the facility above, so a century at the very least. Yet it seems to have been preserved quite well, all things considered. For those concerned near the lantern, it is stopped among the pews. Next to this table, there's a series of implements that are on there and some parchments and a book that is open to a certain page. The spatial time stop seems to pass over the contents of most of the table, making them impossible to retrieve. However, the book and parchment here is able to be grabbed with a careful hand. The sole chandelier at this point would stand sentry as though fixated, but it seems as though whatever it wants to do or is fixated on, it can't necessarily do anything itself, and so it sits.
Dagny will go ahead and approach from this side and grab at the papers here.
All right. You are able to carefully grab the parchments that are right at the edge of this spatial tear, and you would read through them, and let me see. They appear to be in a language that you are unable to understand.
Can I go ahead and mage hand nab the book there?
Yes, you can. Through some careful work, you would recover it.
Yeah. I don't imagine I know how to read in the best of circumstances. So I'll dangle the book and kind of prod the lamp with the book. This what?
The chandelier would almost give off a bit of a glow, as though to acknowledge that you're there. It seems like you're doing something that it appreciates, but something more is needed.
I'll just, looking at these papers, I can't make what it reads. Can either of you read this?
I can read everything.
All right. Cobweb, what languages do you speak?
It's Eyes of the Runekeeper. I can read all written language.
I see. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go ahead and mage hand kind of poke him with the book then.
Yeah. I'll say for brevity's sake, everyone is able to take a look at both the parchment and the book, and they appear to be in the same dialect. Cobweb, you are ultimately the only person who is able to understand this, and you would identify that the notes here are written in Infernal. It looks like a lot of these, some fiendish practices. Certain things are highlighted and circled. Particularly, there's a section of pages for which the book was opened towards that refer to interplanar travel. You get an idea that they may have been researching the connection or potential for connections between this plane of existence and the lower planes.
As I'm reading them, do I get the sense that these are religious or research or, in what sort of, in what sort of way were they written, basically? I'm trying to gauge the tone.
Roll investigation.
Gotcha.
As you try to put some context clues together.
Oh boy.
It's big brain time.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
The name Genesis would come up multiple times in these writings. It looks like there's a combination of both more fine print that was put into this book and additional more hand-scrabbled notes that are in the margins. You imagine that this was some sort of collective study on the uses of Avernus. It looks like this book was a lot of first-hand accounts of experimentation with this place, particularly ways to conjure and use both heat, creatures, and interplanal strings that would bind one place to another. There's a lot of mechanical and equational additions that are marked in the margins. And from what you can tell, they were learning more about Avernus to ultimately use it, both offensively and practically. It seems like when genocide began, they had some rushed efforts to weaponize a connection between this plane and that one in order to further their own survival. And a lot of the notes that are handwritten suggests that whoever had this tome and added their own notes has been there more than once.
Okay. So when it mentions Genesis, is it in the context that it's not in the context that he's writing these specifically?
Based on what you're saying, or seeing rather, in concluding, it's not clear if this is from Genesis himself, but it's definitely involving a lot of his work.
Seems whoever took these notes was a very avid pupil of Genesis.
If he didn't know this was going on, he certainly did influence it. Well, at least we know this is a step in the right direction.
I wonder.
Percy moves closer and is inspecting the circle in greater detail. He's a bit quiet and seems to be silently observing. He also would put a hand to his forehead as well. It looks like those head pains aren't going away, but he's taking notes to himself all the same.
Percy, what are your thoughts on this?
All this time, the higher classifications on what could be spoken of and who is allowed to descend, from what I can remember, I think the reason that they were so tight-lipped on higher levels of research was because they were doing exactly this. I think that ultimately they were entertaining using infernal resources to further their own goals. I remember I had been modifying machines that had been requiring a great source of energy. We weren't the ones in charge of powering these things, we just created them. And whenever we asked about more specifics on what exactly we're going to power our war machines, they were very quick to silence us and tell us to not ask those sorts of questions. I think desperation drove them to these kinds of practices. Part of me is disappointed, and the part of me is fascinated.
Didn't seem to work out for him in the end, though. Even with all the blood rituals.
Yes.
I would argue to disagree. Those Hellfire generators were largely successful. They seem to be responsible for holding together space-time. That's no easy feat. They had some success in using these pinprick portals. I wonder what else they were using it for.
Anything's possible at this point. Kind of coming around.
So for the circle itself, is there anything standing out as sort of striking about the symbology with the ritual circle itself?
With the notes in hand, being the only one to discern them, you'd flip through pages until you find a diagram that would match what's on the floor here to an exact mark. However, there's additional aspects that are noted on the pages that appear to be absent within the circle here. Namely, the 5 points on this star shape seem to require some form of objects that are to be placed in a certain way. It looks like these are used to almost trigger a tear from one place to another.
Oh.
Reading on, you can infer that this particular recipe here, if you can call it that, you get an ingredient list. Within each of the 5 points, it requires 5 eyes of humanoids to be placed, one to each of the points. These eyes are to be bathed in the blood of a fiend. Finally, there appears to be a description of a certain infernal gem be placed in the center, uttering a series of words, verbal components that are detailed on the page, and if done correctly, the portal would open. You
Seems
can-
to be some. Oh,
You can note that this gate appears to be, just going off of the notes here, how it describes the room. This is definitely the room that you're standing in, that the one they're talking about in the notes. This gate has been used many times. It seems
Well-
like those that were down here and were in charge of the advances here have gone through here more than once.
well, I guess we can sort of guess what's in that crate over there as he sort of jams a thumb over to the heavy crate. Seems to be a description for some sort of portal ritual. I'm not sure where it goes, but it does imply that many people have traveled this path before. Typically, people who know what's going on.
So, this is the base of the ritual for opening a gate to avert us.
Looks like. We still got that jar of eyeballs?
What jar of eyeballs?
What, you don't remember?
No.
No. Well, at the mansion there was that puzzle with the eyeballs, the brazen mask, the teleporty fireplace door.
Yeah, but we went into the mask. We didn't pull them out.
You're right, but there were quite a few of them.
There was only 2 in there.
There was.
There was only 2.
Yes.
Yeah, they appeared to be the key for activating the descent to the lower stairs in that area.
Oh, motherfucker. Okay.
No eyeballs?
No.
Guess not.
Aw.
Not unless a lot of people get really cool about a lot of things really quick.
Disa, you are close enough to this table here that you would spot within the time stop rift. There is a bloody bowl, perfectly preserved in time, that seems to have a few eyeballs in a bloody soup.
Hey. Eyeballs! I guess I'll try and take something from the table and try and, like, use that with Mage Hand to prod it out of whatever this field is.
Oh, like I'd say there's that little, like, short blade right here that you can grab. Are you just trying to reach from within the rift?
With a Mage Hand. To kind of just prod it out.
So the mage hand is going into the rift?
The Mage Hand is holding that long knife thing and kind of using that to extendo grip and nudge it out of the rift.
Alright, I was just making sure. Okay. You grab hold of this little short sword using your mage hand and would insert it into the rift. It begins to move slower and slower, and as it crosses the threshold, it comes to a complete halt. And you find that you can't move the blade anymore. Just the tip appears to be within the area of influence. And pulling it out now is an extremely difficult task. It seems as though the tip of the blade is frozen in time.
Oh.
Cobweb would pull out the Jack of Ages, the jack-o'-lantern he picked up earlier, which seemed to be immune to the time distortion effects, and sort of presents it to Disa. Try this. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's worth a shot, I guess.
I take a bite out of it.
Oh shit!
What the fuck?
He said, "Try
Make a con-
this."
No!
Make a-
No!
Make,
I'm
make a
joking.
con save.
I'm joking. I'm
All right,
smart
then.
enough to know now. Context is something I need.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'll try and prod that thing out with Mage Hand Pumpkin.
Okay. You have this thing balanced on the mage hand and would neander it into the rift. And miraculously, this pumpkin appears to be widely unaffected by the rift. And you're able to get this thing nudged a little bit closer. However, a pumpkin is only so big. And you get this bowl inched a little bit over to the edge here before you run all out of pumpkin. And your mage hand would reach the edge of that rift and would freeze and would eventually dispel.
Oh, pumpkin was not long enough.
Yeah, I guess not.
You're
Is there
close.
anything? Is there anything in the notes regarding the pumpkin? What sort of processes? I guess quote unquote created it.
You flip through the pages feverishly, and sadly, there's no mention of any sort of pumpkins. You think that whatever went on in the room that you first came here in was isolated to the room.
Can I... You said it was close. So would poking the pumpkin with like the little window I have get the bowl out enough to nab it?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get something to move the pumpkin, it would nudge the bowl, you think, more than enough to get it out.
Let's see. Is there like a 2x4 broken off one of these pews?
I mean, I should, like, further describe, like, the pumpkin is now fully in the rift. So, like, if you try to put a plank through it, the plank's just gonna stop, you know?
Oh.
And wind manipulation wouldn't work either. The air molecules are frozen solid. I'm at a loss. Has anybody got any ideas?
I mean, it worked once before. I could do it again.
Oh, right. Why didn't we do that first?
I mean, quite frankly, I was sort of amazed by your efforts. That the fact that you managed to even get that far was quite a feat.
I'm gonna choose to take that as a compliment.
This might be the last time I can actually utilize this spell for right now, but this may be the only chance we have. I'm gonna go ahead and use Dispel Magic on the rift that's basically covering this table.
You cast a spell magic, and as you cast it, there's a flare-up from the soul lantern that seems to empower your spell, and this whole area would lose its influence, and this entire table is now able to be handled.
Eyeball soup! Eyeball soup!
Yeah,
Jack,
I'll just go
you're
ahead and
back.
take a look at the rest of the contents on this table besides the parchments and the book we found.
You find that there is a urn here that is very heavy, ceramic in make, and opening it, you see that there is a soft infernal glow coming from a gem on the inside. This eyeball-containing bowl is definitely something you think was intended to be here for a specific purpose. And there would be a bit of dread that would gnaw at your stomach to find that there are 4 eyeballs.
There's only 4.
Could I start rifling through these drawers over here? Just seeing what I can see, basically.
Sure. You go ahead and rifle through them, and there's a bunch of writing material and basic supplies. You would find a potion of greater healing,
Hey.
and there is a small vial, well, actually, a series of vials, rather, that have this long decayed brine. And they have a series of what appears to be different organic parts preserved within. These appear to be a lot more aged. They were preserved, but it appears that when they were acquired here, they had already aged considerably. There is a fifth eyeball within one of the vials. However, it's in a notable state of decay.
Hmm. I don't know if healing potions would have any effect on dead tissue.
It wouldn't.
Fair. Yeah.
As for Nadira, getting closer to this box again, you would take those steps closer, and then you hear it again that this box would shudder with you being close. You also can crane your neck around the corner and see that Destin is seemingly stopped in place, in a comatose state, unable to proceed without any influence. Are you alive, Shannon?
She's dead!
Oh,
Oh,
no.
God.
Ah, well, that's a shame. But in either case, yeah, you guys are free to continue as you see fit.
Hmm.
I mean, ritual, as much as I would want to find out, it'd be so dangerous.
You're right, but at the same time, this is sort of the only lead we have to where, Genesis might be.
Yes.
Before you, you would see that those four eyeballs begin to float out of the bloody brine on their own. There's a white shimmer that is levitating them before they would shoot across the room along with the lantern that would place the four eyeballs into four respective corners. Perhaps this entity has done this before.
Well, looks like someone understands the assignment. Is there anything, sort of note that I can find within the tome sort of scattered around? I imagine they have some sort of information pertaining to what might be in the box.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll investigation once more. There's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of books here, and it's a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, that was so close.
These books are a very broad arrangement of different things. It's stuff that loosely ties to the relevance of this room. And there's not too much to lead on. You think that they were brought here in order to gain preliminary knowledge on attempting to open the portal that is in this room. Essentially just background knowledge that was collected over time. And you ultimately end up cross-referencing these back to the tome that you were originally looking at, and it does detail that those eyeballs do need to be wet within the blood of a fiend. And you had gone through the remainder of everything there, and you imagine that there may be something in there that was used to provide the blood.
Yeah, fair enough. Some sort of, yeah, it seems to be some sort of crate holding, a demon of some sort, or other infernal entity. Hey, Destin! Get your tin can ass over here.
Does the bowl the other eye's in still have some tomato sauce left in it?
Oh, Lottie.
What?
blood in the bowl with the other eyes? Like, is there leftover enough to wet in another eye?
Tevin might use cheese.
Yeah. There's definitely a good amount that if you were to put an eye in there, that yeah, you could definitely get it wet.
Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and hop over and nab eyeball from Cobweb if it'll let me.
There we go.
There she is.
Hold on, guys. Wait, relax. Hold on. Just so you know, my eyes are the most important here.
Yeah, we weren't suggesting a sacrifice.
No? Oh, no, yeah, no, I wasn't thinking that either.
Is Destin like completely catatonic and unresponsive?
He's not doing a whole lot of much. Some of his plates appear to be grinding against one another, but there's you can feel warmth by not even making contact with him. His keystone is riled up.
I want to go up to him and ask him, what do you know?
You get within a couple of feet and would ask this plainly, and you hear a grind of metal as his head would snap on an axis and would lock with you. This, without a doubt, is something that is going to lead us into the Nine Hells. And something within me can feel it. It's getting stronger the closer we get to opening that thing, I think. And I'm not sure if once we're through that I'm gonna be entirely the same, because I have the keystone and then there's my body, which is essentially a being trapped in a cage, housed in another cage.
What kind of beast are we talking about?
Let's just say that the Nine Hells is essentially where I came from.
I fucking knew it.
Didn't he say this like a couple sessions ago? Anyway?
He
Yeah,
did
we've
strongly
said
allude
it
to
several
yeah.
times.
No, he
is
said
allu-
it several times, but like what he actually is just clicked, so.
Yeah, like, he's dropped a little bit of things like just passively, but now he's really reinforcing it.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess your blood could be useful in this. Is there a way to unleash that?
I don't have any blood in this form, unless you really want to try messing with the keystone.
Should probably bring it up to the others before I make a bad decision.
Bob! Bob!
Who?
What is that one talking about?
Eyeball!
I don't.
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
What's up?
That one. Put it in soup.
Huh?
I think she's talking about the eyeball, the decaying eyeball that you found.
Yeah, it's worth a shot, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't say they have to be fresh, I suppose. Here, as he hands, or rather, he uncorks the vial, gives it a good sniff for posterity, and
It's a foul brine, and the substance that is containing this decayed eye is almost gelatinous. It's this sickly yellow tinge, and if you're uncorking it, the eye, as well as the gelatinous substance that has taken the form of the tube, almost slides out, almost like a sausage.
oh god.
Delicious.
Yeah, pure protein. As he pours, I guess he'll try his best to sort of separate the goo from the eye proper and place it into the bowl of infernal blood.
wrinkling your face and stomaching the task, you would extract the putrid eyeball and would dip it into the blood in the bowl. And you have yourself a as serviceable as it can be eyeball.
I'll go ahead and plug it out with a mage hand.
Oh shit, I forgot you could do that. What? Oh, he just wipes his hands on his fucking clothes. Damn it.
Mm.
I'll go ahead and hop a few paces over here and go ahead and dangle the bloody eye towards the lamp. Lamp! Hey! Lamp! Hey!
Just presenting the eye to it.
Yeah.
You can see that this lamp has positioned each of the eyes to look inwards towards the centerpiece, towards itself. It would come over, actually responding to you, having the intelligence now to do so, and it gets close to this disgusting eye that you have presented to it. There's a pause, and you can feel its thoughts churning, even though you're not actively listening. And then a white zap would emanate from the center point of it as your eyeball, the one you're holding that is, gets zapped and goes flying across the room, landing on the ground here.
Ah, I should have figured.
Oh.
So they do need to be fresh.
Well, let's kill what's ever in the frickin' box.
And there's no telling what it is, though.
No.
The fact that it's been locked up so long makes me sort of hesitant to call it humanoid, quote unquote.
Yeah, I don't care.
Well, we don't even know if it is humanoid.
We're testing opening a portal to Avernus, and you people are worried about what's in the box?
No, you're right, but the ritual specifically calls for humanoid eyes. I don't know the ramifications of using anything else.
Great, so whose eye are we cutting out then?
Not mine.
Not it. Nose
Yeah.
goes.
As he touches his nose.
Funny how quickly nose goes works.
Percy has this really troubled look on his face and is looking to everyone else, seeing their unwillingness to make a sacrifice. But he doesn't say anything.
Percy?
If we have to, and Genesis is the only way to make a difference in this world, then I'm willing to try. I don't know if I have any life outside of this. I don't know a damn thing about where I came from or who I loved. And if we can't fix it, I don't know if I ever will. And if I have to make a sacrifice because there's nothing but cowardice in this room, then so be it.
Cobweb is sort of moved by the act of bravery, and he goes. He sort of slow claps. Damn. Well, fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you showed you showed me bravery beyond what I could muster, and I respect that. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure that you have a place in this world.
Percy has a genuinely surprised expression on his face. This is the most moved he's ever looked ever since you met him. And you can see his eyes get a little glassy for a moment, and he looks down at you. Cobweb, I haven't known you for very long, but you have heart. It's the
Alright,
kind
enough
of
with the
heart-
sappy shit. Just strap me down for fuck's sake.
All right. Is anyone here experienced in surgery?
Perched on one of the pews, Diesel will just kind of raise one of the talons and click the claws together.
I'm boned. Uh-oh.
Well, I might have enough of a steady hand.
Mm.
I'll help.
I know for a fact that at one point I had steady hands, but perhaps my mental state is unwarranting of taking the responsibility. I think this is a ring best suited for you. Well, if you're Alrighty, I suppose we should get on with it, huh?
Oh God, what kind of check is that gonna be?
Question, was it specifically human eyes or humanoid?
Humanoid. Yeah.
And I don't imagine the thing in the crate would constitute for that.
So you don't know what's in there, but you're able to, everyone collectively is able to ascertain a few key points. Firstly, this crate was not, at least when you found it, affected by any sort of time preservation. So whatever's in there has been in there for a very long time and is still strong enough to bang against that thing when it senses something nearby. This entire area, this process, what you're doing here, has strong ties to Avernus in the Hells. Whether or not something in there is dangerous is ultimately your call, but the circumstances seem to support it. Perhaps this crate was made specifically for whatever's in there.
I'm by no means the leader here.
Alright, dagger time, baby.
I guess.
Oh, hold on. He Cobweb pulls out a comically large wineskin and begins the process of getting fucked up. Oh God! Oh fuck!
I cannot blame you.
Oh God, what kind of check is this about to be?
You chug the wine and just try your best to get as hammered as possible. The process takes a good 5-10 minutes. Given your size, and the size relative to the water skin, it doesn't take a whole lot of time before you begin to feel lightheaded, and then a bit giddy, and then the room seems to have adopted a bit of a sway to it. You can't tell if that's you, or the spatial temporal rift all around this place taking effect. Either way, you choose to consider it a good thing.
Yeah, alright, bust out the spoon.
Okay, I think he's good now, Erithol.
Alright.
Right.
I'll look at Erithol and go ahead and just stare into his eyes for a second. Give a small nod. I believe in you. And give him a bardic inspiration.
Do it, pussy. Do it.
Alright.
What kind
Uh,
of check is this gonna be?
I also
I was assuming medicine.
I also did
Okay.
want to do the enthralling performance thing. I have to pop that down because it fucking forces me. I do
That's
want
fine.
to do that specifically on Cobweb,
Ooh, got you.
as I'll kind of like hold his head still while doing the enchanting harpy song to charm him. And I imagine being charmed will kind of keep him still and docile and somewhat out of it, alongside being shit-faced.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna
mean,
cast Enhanceability on Erithol.
I assume that's Owl's wisdom because
Yeah.
medicine is wisdom.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
well, I'm going, B-Man, just to confirm, it is a medicine check?
So, you are going to be making 2 checks in order to successfully conduct this operation. Firstly, you will need to roll medicine to determine the best technique to extract his eye as painlessly as possible. The secondary check is sleight of hand to execute it.
Oh, which is Dex.
I'm not horrible with Dex. I'm not horrible.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I will say.
Okay.
Wait.
I have advantage on this one.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, bardic inspiration.
I
did-
think I might want to save that for my sleight of hand because I'm not proficient with that.
Yeah.
So, you do your best. Having Cobweb be a bit loopy and out of it, you would apply 2 fingers to part his eyelids from the eye as much as possible, as this red eye would dilate looking upright at you. Cobweb, you're feeling a myriad of emotions right now, but ultimately you choose to single out the words from Diza, and the enchantment seems to almost neglect the severity of the situation in favor of a blissful, ignorant giddiness. And you just sort of deposit yourself into your own thoughts, trying your best not to observe Erithol looming over you. Arethal, question. What's your implement of choice in order to conduct this?
I assume I'm picking up a dagger, or like, I'm asking someone to hand me a dagger because I only have fucking bolts.
Nurse, scalpel.
I'm not in the right mind to tell you this, but I have a mess kit. Use a spoon or some shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
spoon would probably be
we've
better.
seen you during rests. We've seen you use it.
Yeah. Why not?
So I guess I'll take a spoon as well.
Devin, welcome. We're removing Muda's eye.
Cool.
So,
I change my arm and war pick, and I say,
all right. So,
Mm.
Arethal, you gather your implements of choice, and you're examining the now parted eye that is still within its socket, lazily looking this way and that as Cobweb is spacing out. You think that maybe the best way to go about it is just one motion, because if it's only one, there's less room to fuck up. And opt to just go for a quick insert and scoop. That's the best
Disgusting.
approach that you would say is the way to go with that medicine check. And having that in mind, your tool in hand, and gritting your teeth on preparing for this brutish method, roll sleight of hand to conduct your surgery.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
As for Cobweb,
Oh.
make a Constitution saving throw.
Roll the D8.
It's a D8. All right,
Uh,
1D8.
Let me double check that actually. I think it is. Let me double check. If it'll
Yeah.
pay the ability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, oh no, 10th levels when he gets
10th
a
level
D10.
turns to a 10, yeah.
Let's see here. Come on, don't whiff. Don't fucking whiff. I'm supposed to be good at these. Okay, that's decent, I guess.
Alright, Arethal, what's your final roll here? Is that a 10?
That's a 10.
Ooh. Evidently, you have a lot to learn when it comes to anatomy. And you go ahead and would thrust this spoon between Cobweb's eyeball and his eye socket and begin to pry, only to find that the muscles have a tremendous amount of resistance. Cobweb, as soon as this thrust is conducted, you are violently ripped out of this bliss you have deposited yourself into, and it is now pure endurance. You let out a horrific yelp that echoes throughout this chamber. Anything even remotely nearby would hear this, and the ear-piercing screech makes everyone quiver as Cobweb's legs would begin to spasm and kick at the boards of this bench he's deposited onto. And Arethal, you do your best to stern your nerve and continue to try to pry out this eyeball. You apply more and more and more force, only to find that it is attached in more places than you were really anticipating. And
Fucking goblin anatomy.
after a while, this eye would finally come shooting out as it would go flying straight up into the air and would become careening down. Why don't you go ahead and roll sleight of hand to see if you can catch it?
For fuck's sake.
You would quickly drop your tools and cup your hands to find that it would graze off of your fingers before splatting a little bit onto the bench. Definitely wasn't favorable, but the eye still seems intact as there's a few strands and sinews of the muscles inside of Cobweb's eye socket that are still attached. Cobweb, you are in an extraordinary amount of pain as you take 21, let's just call it piercing damage from this process. Your eye has been plucked. And you are actively bleeding out the sockets. That's gonna need some attention, you think. You are experiencing trauma. And
I
you're
am
in a great
healing
deal of
him.
pain.
Yeah, there's healing. Healing, we're healing. No, take it back.
Okay. After all is said and done, it's only 1 piercing damage, but Cobweb's now hole in his head that used to house his eye is bleeding actively, and you're gonna need to stuff that with something, you think. Although the rough extraction has been completed.
Oh, holy shit!
I'm gonna go ahead and tear like just part of the bottom edge of my robes. Try and do as clean a strip as possible. I'll use prestidigitation to kind of clean off any dirt or muck on it. Sort of kind of wrap it to where it can be enough to actually sort of place in his eye socket and stop the bleeding as much as possible.
All
It's
right.
like, Cobweb, hold still.
For your sake!
I'm trying to help you. Hold still.
Bullshit! Just do it! Get it over with!
This was a necessary sacrifice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, tell that to my fucking eye socket.
I'm picking up the eye, by the way.
At that point, I just kind of grab him by his ear and just sort of very carefully put the stuffing into his eye socket.
Stuff it like a turkey.
Oh.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
You manage to get it in there, and you can see that the color of your dress is quickly soaked into a dark red as blood would fill into the strands. But it's definitely helping, suffice to say. This cobweb, it looks like you're mostly stable, but your head is in considerable agony, and you are open-mouth breathing, and you feel sick to your stomach like you're going to puke. But you have ultimately survived the endeavor. Gain a point of inspiration.
Yeah. Well earned. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Now let's get the other one.
Fuck.
Get ready to learn blind fighting style, bitch boy.
You would see that there's a bit of a white wisp as the soul lantern would return to all of you, and the extracted eyeball begins to lift off the ground with a white etherealness guiding it. It would be followed back towards the centerpiece as that final point has that eye deposited into the correct position. It seems as though it is prepared.
Did it dip it in the demon sauce?
Well, no, I just took it and put it down is all that happened before it comes back over, flying over your heads, and you would see the lid on that heavy ceramic jar would lift, and a infernal stone from within is extracted before it is taken towards the center and is deposited right here. It appears all the components have been placed in the correct position. It doesn't do anything further.
I imagine there's a formula that needs to be read. Just grabbing the book from Cobweb and trying to find the diagram that he had read off. Does it look like there's a formula that needs to be read?
Yes, there are a series of verbal components that are to be read as the final catalyst to conduct this. Of course, the order is first drawing the circle itself, then depositing the eyeballs, then the gem, and then the blood of a fiend is dripped onto each of the eyes in their position, and then the verbal components are finally read.
Can anyone read Infernal?
Well, Cobweb can, but he's a little loopy right now.
Yeah, Deez is just peering over him and just.
The thing is, I can read it. I cannot phonetically tell you how to say the words in the original language. It just sort of translates automatically.
Bobweb isn't afraid of anything.
Damn straight. As he takes another swing.
Can anyone else read Infernal besides Cobweb?
Percy shakes his head.
Not really my forte, so.
Destined?
No.
Uh,
Cool, my mic's not. Hello?
Oh, are you
oh,
there?
you're good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've been saying yeah I can do that the entire time. I don't know why.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there you are. I'm getting like bits and pieces of you. Are you on push talk?
Hello?
There you are.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been saying I can do that. I can.
You can read
Oh.
it? Okay.
Sick.
Destin
Yeah.
can, in fact, read Infernal.
Okay. I will go ahead and pick up the bowl of infernal blood, and I will hand the notebook to Destined and point out where the verbal components are for the ritual. As I will take the bowl and starting on Cobweb's Eye and working. Did it say clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counterclockwise is the correct motion.
Yeah, I would go counterclockwise, starting at Cobweb's Eye.
All right. You approach Cobweb's Eye, which is at the closest point with
Mhm.
that bowl, and would approach to begin to conduct your business. But before that first pour can be done, the lantern moves in and zaps the bowl out of your hands. Are you attempting to savor it?
Well,
Not for you to do.
I think it kind of
It's-
catched me off guard.
The blood isn't infernal. The blood, and no, it's from the eyes themselves. The blood is applied after they're placed.
He looks over towards the crate.
I was really hoping not to have to do this. I will go ahead and approach the box.
Yes, let's go.
I'm just gonna look at the ward real quick. Is this just a ward that is preventing the box from opening, or is it like an actual glyph of warning? Like if I touch it, it'll.
Roll Arcana.
Come on, baby. I'm good at these.
Come on, baby. hit me
Yes,
one more
25.
Oh,
time.
hell yeah, you are.
These are definitely made to reinforce this box, so it can't just be eventually broken over time. And you do recognize a lot of the intricacies of the ward, as were noted on the paper. Of course, it was infernal, so you couldn't read the specifics, but I'm assuming with Destined, able to read it and willing, you would ascertain that applying some simple pressure of the fingers to specific corners of this ward in an order will dispel it.
All right, everyone. Get ready. And
All right.
Yippee.
following the notes on the book, go ahead and start touching the corners of the ward in order.
You take the instructions, look towards the ward, and we'll begin to do your work. And I think it's a good point to take a 15-minute break.
Oh, thank God I had to pee.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
what's
Does,
up.
is my mic
Nah.
mic sound fine now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. I had to change like the input and output gain and shit like that.
Oof. All right.
Mm,
Yeah, 15 minutes.
that's always fun.
I was really
That-
hoping you let Decent pluck out somebody's eye.
Fat chance.
Yeah, with talent is kind of a.
It'll be quick.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I have an idea of what to do after to fill the void.
What's that?
His
I have
robo
some
dick.
keystone shards in my pack, so maybe if like can whittle a sphere out of it, and we could just pop it back in. You have a cool little
Well, what is
magic
it?
stone eye.
I have I've had this trophy, this Eden ear. I was planning on like fashioning an eye patch out of it.
Oh, I thought for a second you were like, now I'll have 3 ears. I can hear out of the front of my face.
That's what's up.
I wonder if you would like good enough healing magic, you can just like graft on another fucking organ, or just like another different eye.
I think so, because what is it? There is a spell called regeneration. It's really high level, but it does let you fucking regrow limbs.
It does, yeah.
Congrats, though, Cobweb. You're a Cyclops like Dismiss was.
Let's go! shit, now I gotta draw a new face claim.
Ugh.
Percy be like, all I see is bitches in this room. And Cobweb's like, square up, bitch.
Real shit.
I double dog dare ya. Let's take the deer's eye too, just for funsies. Join the eye patch squad.
Death.
Oh
Destin
no, why
just
did I do that?
unplugs, like unscrews one of his eyes like a like a light bulb.
Yeah, that's the sound Kappa was making. Oh!
No, he was making. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only person I was thinking of Volo when this was happening.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing. I was like, oh, they're removing an eye. Oh, I have to look for a scene, the Volo's eye removal scene.
Looking back at that, I'm really glad I did not let him scoop my eye, because it went about as well as I expected it to.
Hmm.
Nah, dude, you get a cool bonus from it.
This is true.
It's such a good thing in Act 2 to have that eye.
What does it do again? Dark vision?
It's I think within it's like 20 meters of your character you can see anything invisible.
Oh.
It still
Yeah, with
has
the
to
shadows.
do it still has to do like a stealth check or something like that. But then once the check pops up because of the way the game works, you know where it is because it pops up right above their head.
Yeah, so you can just cast a shatter.
Exactly. That, or you get Lothander's blood or whatever,
Hmm.
that mace, and then just give it to a character and have him walk around.
God, that reminds me of the movie. We both need eyes when we're going. I forget the name of the movie. It was a great scene.
I mean, the only movie I can think of that has anything to do with any of that is SpongeBob when he says, "Where we're going, we don't need roads," or something like that. The SpongeBob movie.
That line is from Back to the Future, though.
Huh. I guess I've seen more
We're going.
SpongeBob
We don't
movie than
need
that one.
roads.
Ah, yeah, no, it was Event Horizon with Sam Neill.
Hmm.
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
Oh God. Like, what's that? Yeah, that was the fucking movie. Like, open the gate to hell. Save yourself from hell.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Dead inside.
Aerithal channeling the spirit of Barados.
I'm to stab you in the eye.
Just gonna take a little off the top.
Meanwhile,
Jesus.
fucking cobweb.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
That was cobweb.
Somebody's having a seizure.
That was the sound of the squid living in my eyes.
Failure.
All right, do we have everybody here?
Yeah,
Ouch.
I think.
Yeah.
Nay, nay.
I heard her earlier.
You.
Yeah, I heard her messing around with her mic.
Did you just draw that? Goddamn!
No, I started, but I just added the eye patch.
Very nice. That fits him very well, I must say.
Is that the correct eye that was removed?
Sure.
Well, I assume it would be the left.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at, because he would say which eye. I was gonna ask which eye do you want to keep.
Oh.
We'll
fair
just
enough.
say that like you would have pointed to the one that you wanted, really.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a that's something that like is kind of a given.
How
but
would you
anyway.
decide?
Say, which one's your favorite?
It's
Which
not-
one's your
Whatever your-
favorite?
If
I
you're
mean,
right eye
dominant
dominant,
eye.
then it's an obvious choice.
Oh.
Oh yeah, she's having mic issues.
Hey.
Skill issue.
Kill issue.
Skill issue.
What? What are you, a seal?
Skill issue. You know, I always kind of wondered what would happen if you went to an MRI machine and you had to metal fill it.
It'd rip it out of your skull
Oh, Jesus. There it goes.
incredibly violently.
Now I can hear you. Mr. You can hear us.
Yeah, and it was
Nice.
on the headset, and all I did was just re-click it, and then all of a sudden it worked, but it was already on it, so I don't quite know what happened.
That
Good
is
job, Nick.
strange. All right.
I fucked up.
Just a soft reset. No worries.
All right.
Okay.
Open the
With
note box.
All
Swing open the
parties
door.
present, we will continue forward,
Oh God.
reviewing the notes with the assistance of Destined. Dagny would apply fingers to the edges of the ward in the correct order as denoted in the pages. And you would see with every correct tap, there's a shudder of magic before that final tap is pressed. And there is a huff as the magical incantation fades away.
While she was doing that, could I have been doing something?
What are you doing?
I wanted to go ahead and poke Dr. Percy off over somewhere over here to hide.
Sure, he would oblige, not necessarily wanting to get involved in a dangerous situation, and he essentially would take position right here, ready to round the wall if it gets hairy in any sort of direction. But upon doing so, and that ward being dispelled, there is a tense moment of silence before the creature within seemingly understands its newfound freedom before...
Oh shit!
Roll for initiative.
We're boned.
Fuck!
We're
I gave it
boned.
just in
You
time.
son
I
of a
know
bitch.
what it. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. Like it's incredibly familiar.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, alright.
It.
I can't wait till we all die.
Fuck it.
You
Yeah.
motherfucker.
We're going to the bone zone.
I did roll.
You.
I rolled shit.
You fucking.
Fucking you.
Oh, me, I guess.
Fucking
When you
hell.
said that,
Yeah, that's what
it
it was.
reminded me of Jack
Devil.
Black being like, "You fucking dick."
Yeah.
Fuck is a bone devil?
Incredibly bad.
Well,
It is
Fa-
very bad. They're very high in the hierarchy of the 9 health.
Oh, cool beans.
luckily,
Ooh.
this motherfucker rolled pretty shit for initiative.
Oh, thank God.
I'm gonna roll for initiative for Percy, just to, in the event that he is not so safe in his current... Oh, well, that sucks. Hopefully that's the only ones that I roll today. In any case, Disa, something very scary came out of the box.
Ah. One second, I'm chewing a gummy shark here. Sorry.
Gummy shark do 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 do.
Alright. This seems like the best idea. Yeah, I'm within range. I'll
Turns invisible and runs away.
Yeah. I'll take flight and give off a psychic scream towards this quirked up white boy. And
But is he goaded with the
cast
songs?
this spell.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Incapacitated. Ooh. All right. It makes an int save. Let's see how it does. That's a failure, I'm afraid.
Yes! Ooh.
Alright. He takes
Zap.
28
Wow.
psychic damage
There we go.
Fuck me!
and then is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Okay, so it's not gonna do a heck of a lot for a hot minute. All right, you see this thing with a blood-quenched anger on its face. It is ready to be out and rain hell on this place, finally being free of its prison, only for you immediately to grip its mind, sink these psionic daggers of your claws into its mind, and you hold it steady, as if you're holding its mind in place and preventing it from moving in any way.
Squishy
It
brain.
freezes.
It's time for
All right.
free some.
Erithal.
Oh, boy. I'm going to commit a crime. Let's see. The range is 30 feet. Let's see. He's much more than 30 feet, so I'm gonna go here. I should probably... How much movement do I have? 35, because I'm a wood elf.
Yeah.
Woody.
Frickin' wood elves.
Mind the time stop
I'm
that's
Woody.
here.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
I agree.
Shooting stuff through that is not advisable. May take a while to get
Yeah.
to its destination.
Okay, I can get about there, and that's just outside of it, and I could angle something here. I'm going to cast... Oh, wait, that one... Okay, B-Man, question.
Yeah.
With Guardian of Faith, if I were to cast it right next to it, even though it's not moving, would it still take the Guardian of Faith damage on the start of its turn?
I'll say yes.
Alright, I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith right next to it.
Okay, place that bastard down.
They did not give me a thing to place down.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm going for is my sight line is avoiding the time stop basically like right there.
I got you.
So
Okay.
that way, whenever it moves, well within 10 feet, leaving Dagny or whatever, 10 damage.
Alright, so it's a 10-foot radius. Okay. So we will do 5, 10. There it is.
Yep.
Cool. Alright. And let's see. On a turn. Okay, so the start of its turn essentially is when this factors into its effect. Okay. And
Yeah.
It's not
Basically
like...
setting up for it.
Gotcha.
right.
Cobweb. Your head's pounding, but that thing is ferocious.
Oh, by the way, all my friends are friends to it, so it won't hurt them.
I naturally assumed.
Cobweb
my
Why else
sort
would
of,
trying to betray the party?
Cobweb sort of takes his sleeve and wipes some of the gore off of his face before reaching for his belt, grabbing the curved dagger and approaching, basically attempting to let enough blood to perform the ritual so that we can focus on killing this thing.
Oh, you're bloodletting on this, huh?
Yeah, well, since it's incapacitated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just go ahead and make a dagger attack. Like, just roll damage. I believe
Alrighty.
because of the state it's in, let's just call it an auto crit. So roll a dagger damage, and we'll double it.
You already. Let's see here. That's a.
I think it's 1d4 plus your dex.
E.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're auto-crediting, it's 2d4. Plus
Yeah.
your
Ah.
dex against
Fair enough.
this weapon.
Or strength,
Hi-ya!
I think, if you want
Not
to do
bad.
strength. Or is it only dex?
It's versatile. You can use either or, but
Oh, okay.
you have to use Dex if you're throwing it.
Okay, you're not throwing it, right? You're just kind of bloodletting?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a +3 instead of a +1. So that's 7, 8, 9. That is 10 total damage. Yeah! Go ahead and stab directly into the base of this thing's tail where you think you might get a good vein and start rooting around, and you have a receptacle ready to collect the blood. This thing is very bony. And rather than have veins, you poke a hole, and it almost feels like you're digging into the trunk of a tree. Inside of this hard, bony carapace is this spongy red substance that looks like marrow that has blood pulsing through it. And you begin to slice at that and begin to drip into this receptacle of yours. And it looks like it's, well, maybe you could use a little bit more, but it's definitely a good amount. If you're very careful, maybe you can make it all work, but it's a start.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that, well, I guess I do have my bonus action. Let me see here. I will preemptively, where is it? I will preemptively use the, Hill Rune. So, Bootleg Rage.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I could do.
Dagny.
Okay, first thing first is to get distance. So 5,
Shit pan.
10, 15, 20 here.
Yep,
Um,
it can't do anything about that.
Yeah. And with the idea that I want down, I just, yep, fuck it. Gonna go with the old standby. Oh, that was shit damage.
When in
Let's
doubt,
see.
mind sliver.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's incapacitated, which means it can't take actions or reactions. I don't think this affects any saves.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No, just
okay.
actions or reactions.
Gotcha. So it rolls this normally. Alright. Int save. How smart is it? It's smart enough to pass. Unfortunately, its mind appears pretty resolute despite the circumstances.
Oh. Either way, that's my turn.
Nadira.
If I'm just gonna like step down here to where the time thingy is not.
Yep.
Oh, I'm close enough. I don't care. Okie dokie artichokes. Fuck around and find out.
What the
Fancy
fuck?
stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you
Damn.
fighting Cobweb with this spell?
Nope, it's only that thing. It's everybody else if it explodes.
Okay. It makes the save. Let's see.
Well, Cobweb
It fails
added
the
2
save.
to it.
And then takes no damage.
No, Cobweb doesn't have to roll.
Yeah, creatures
No.
within a 10-foot radius of the target.
Only if it
Only if it
explodes,
explodes.
the disgusting
Yeah, yeah.
vial.
Okay.
Learn how to read.
There's a whole reason I did that.
Wait, hold on a second. Did it fail to save?
It failed to save, and your spell takes effect on this thing's vile heart as you'd pump it full of this magical, horrendous substance to find that it doesn't necessarily affect the creature in any way. It's
God.
immune to poison damage!
Yeah,
Poison
yeah,
damage.
fiends are immune to poison.
Metagamer spot.
Well, I forgot, so honestly.
I didn't know that, so now I do.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you will remember with where you're going. So unfortunately, even in this state, it completely resisted. Anything else?
Your mother.
Mm,
Dynamom.
I'm going like here. Over here. There we go.
Okay. You're using the time thing as a shield. That's very fucking smart.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Destined.
Alrighty.
Jeez.
Wow.
Both hit.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm divine
auto
smiting both of them.
This is a non-magical halberd, I imagine.
Yeah, it's not magical.
Okay.
Isn't that auto crit too?
Wait a minute. Let me see.
Because it's incapacitated.
So-
That's an extra D8 as well since it's a fiend.
Oh shit, you're right.
Ooh.
Actually,
How do I
yeah.
add?
So
I just
But-
checked the thing for incapacitated. It can't act or react. So I don't. Think,
Oh.
I don't
huh.
think it's auto crit. I mean, for the sake of bloodletting, it's fine. But
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
you're
no,
thinking like
you're-
unconscious or something.
You're right. What the fuck?
yeah,
Wow.
I was just as surprised as you are.
I guess I'll just hit. I'll just roll another 2 to 8 then.
Alright, so we'll half that slashing damage. Oh,
Ooh, nice.
it moved down. I
So-
didn't know if that applied or not.
So
Let's
that's
just hope it did.
24 radiant. Nice.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go. Nope, that's. Here I go.
Oh, it's unconscious
Actually,
and
no. I'm
paralyzed.
gonna stay there
That's
because then
all.
you can't move past me.
Your radiant fueled blows would sink into this and would singe its infernal bones to great effect. That brings us to
Make
its
me a
turn.
dex save. DC
Right. It's
is 15.
Okay. Fuck, it would pass with a 20.
It only takes half, so 10 radiant.
Alright. Through the gashes in this bony plating, you can see that there is the faintest trickles of blood. Its marrow is exposed.
Drink it.
Right. Is it still incapacitated, or is it the end of your turn, was
It's the
it?
start
and
of
it-
my next turn.
So it's still incapacitated.
Yeah.
Percy is just he's just
He's
just chilling.
big chilling over there.
He doesn't want to die.
He's over there in the fetal position as all he hears is.
Hmm.
Alright. Tiza.
Alright, so at the start of my turn, I believe, let me double check. Thank you. Ow.
Sorry.
I'm just rereading it.
A lose.
Yeah, no. At the start of my turn, it's no longer incapacitated. Too bad I'm doing the same thing against it on this turn.
Alright. Come on. Pass, goddammit. You're a bitch. Alright, well, it's going to again. You see this thing shake it off, come out of it, and its insect-like wings will begin to flutter, and then you see something invisible hit its head again, and it goes back under.
As it takes 26 psychic damage, and it's incapacitated again!
Fuck!
It's like, good morning. Just kidding.
B-Man, remember all
Good
that?
morning.
Remember
Let him
all
get up.
those-
Fight back.
Remember all those sound effects you gave me throughout this campaign? I'm doing it to you now.
Stunlock.
Arathal.
I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious. Well, since it's just gonna be there, I'm going to cast. Ooh, I don't have many range other than Toll the Dead, and I have a feeling this thing is immune to necrotic, or at the very least resistant.
Don't you know some guiding bolts?
That would be useful if I prepared it.
Ouch.
Ah.
You garbage!
And here's where my trophy would go, if I had one.
If I fucking had one. Is Guardian of Faith? No, it's not. Concentration. What am I trying to do?
Kill it.
Fuck it.
I don't know.
I'll cast Flame like Radiant. I'll cast Sacred Flame on it.
Good choice.
Daring today.
Hey.
Alright. Sacred Meme. What's this other damage? Is that just...
That's from potent spellcasting.
Okay. All Radiant, I presume?
Yep.
Okay, I believe it's Save or Suck, right?
Save or suck.
Deck save.
It takes the full damage.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Hmm.
Cobweb.
Sort of jumping back a little startled as soon as it raises its head. But he sort of calms down once it's incapacitated again, sort of continuing his work, trying to fucking... he's not being graceful about it either. He's just like, come on, fuck.
Alright.
Twist it!
Just roll the 2d4 plus 3 again. This thing, now that it has active wounds and is bleeding, it is far easier to collect blood out of the seeping marrow. Its exoskeleton appears to be shattered in multiple places, singed widely. And that would be more than enough to get, I'm presuming using like a bowl.
He's using his mouth.
Or like the empty wineskin or something.
Gotcha. A receptacle, the details are not so important, but you're able to get this thing filled pretty generously. You have what you need.
Yum. Okay.
Drink it.
Drink it.
Yeah, dude, bone marrow is supposed to be pretty tasty.
Stop.
The growing boy needs his milk.
Okay, with my... I don't know if I want to grapple this motherfucker, that's the thing.
I mean, I wouldn't worry
No,
about it.
no, I know, but in the event that he passes,
You
it's
want to
fine.
keep him in the
He
radiant.
is looking pretty beat up.
Yeah, that's
You think
that's
if you
fair
let,
enough.
you let them keep at it, he's not long for this earth.
Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Cobweb sort of takes a step back. I got it. Let's go.
Dagny.
All right.
Mind flitter.
No.
Fireball.
I'm gonna go ahead and do another oldie but goodie. We're gonna do magic missile at 2nd level.
All right.
17
Pop, pop, pop,
force.
pop, 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 pop. There's no stopping that, especially not with the condition it's in. And you begin to crack the remnants of the bones, and you can see that it's more marrow than exoskeleton now. It's on its last legs.
That's my turn.
Nadira.
Magic missile.
Oh, what? I mean, that's stupid. That's not worth it. I guess I will. How far? Oh, they're too far away. Are they too far away? Yeah, no, too far away. Motherfuckers.
Especially with the time stop in the middle.
Especially with the time.
Hard explode again.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh,
we're
wait,
just
no, it's
gonna
more
come
than
back
that.
down to where like the time stop can't fuck around and find out.
Touch it.
I'm not touching it. I actually thought about touching it, but I can't get to it. So, you know, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I guess I'll do this. Why not? I can reach it. That's one attack. I have two of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you have 2 beams.
Okay, let me do it again. That one doesn't hit. It's fine.
9 force damage. Boop. It pelts this thing in the chest and drills into the exposed marrow as blood comes spewing out of its mouth. It's barely up. All right.
Sorry, I thought my mic was muted again.
Destined. All right. 1 would hit. Takes
Then
half.
I guess I'll. Where is it? There it is. And then with an extra D8 because it's
D8?
fiend.
Nice. 19 radiant.
Destined. How do you literally send this thing back to hell?
Oh, I just straight up. I probably missed the first one, and then the second one I just pick it up and just slice its head clean off.
Grab his stick and twist it.
A
Twist his
clean
dick off.
cut as the bloodied marrow would go spewing all over the place before it would erupt in a fiery smoke, and a whiff of brimstone would ring throughout. Ending combat.
Burst out of the box. Alright, time to teach these fuckers a lesson. Gets bonked on the head, stunned. Ah, fuck. Okay, just chase it off. Alright, now is the time I'm gonna get you.
Bonk.
Bonked on the head again.
He's literally just, why you bully me?
The thing didn't even take a single action!
Nope.
Why you bully me? You fucking
Yeah.
bitch, why you bully me?
What the fuck were you worried about? That was bullying!
Yeah, do we really want to know what's in that box?
Destined,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to be present for this.
Well, he has to be the one to read it, so yeah, of course he's gonna be present.
I did. Yeah. I guess I know like move through the book and whatnot, and I go. There's a lot of spelling errors in here, but nonetheless.
Oh, we got a regular grammar Nazi. All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
fucking, he goes around with the water skin or the wine skin rather, and begins to douse the eyeballs, sort of wincing as he passes by his own.
Other way,
Yeah.
other way.
Other way?
I
do that.
The soul lantern would guide you from one point to the next.
I'll go
Sick.
ahead and let Percy know the fighting's done and let him rejoin us.
He just looks up. Oh, sorry. Right. Right.
He's dead now. And actually,
I would hate to run into that thing back down there.
I'm sure they hold grudges.
I mean, it knows a couple of our faces from where it could
Eh.
see.
and while he's doing this, I just want to do this as many times as I can, which I believe is 3, so I can get my spell slots back.
Okay.
Twice at 7th
Preemptive.
level.
It's twice? Oh, okay, then only twice then. Alrighty, yeah, and then whatever Goblet's doing, putting the blood on it.
Yep. And all of the eyeballs would be doused in the fiendish blood acquired from the specimen that had been released, and frankly sent back to where it belongs, leaving only the final words of the ritual to be uttered by anyone who deems it their task.
Do it.
All right. There's a long series of incantations that are uttered in Infernal. With this being a very natural language to you, you have no trouble uttering the recital. And you know full well that maybe standing back is a good idea, considering the circumstances and being familiar with what this can do. And utter those words, you would.
In Domini Patris Spiritus et...
I do the whole, like, I have my arms raised with book in hand, like looking upwards as I chant this.
Ave Verem Dubla, give me the power, I beg of you.
As this incantation is uttered, the plates on Destin's body begin to shudder violently, the metallic clanging almost disrupting his words, but it's not stopping him in the slightest. There's a hellish glow coming from his chest, and the blood soaked within the center circle would begin to shudder. And there's a disruptive mess that begins to come out of the ground as the ground begins to crack and then glow.
Cue AC/DC Highway to Hell.
You can't just blow a hole in Mars.
Watch me.
At that earth rumbling, I did expect a couple honks.
Mm-hmm.
You would see that the soul lantern is
That looks
almost within this fiery tornado, and you can see that there are these weird embers that it's giving off as, although spiraling down in the maelstrom, it knew exactly what its intent was and descends. However, it is not the only thing in this maelstrom, and you are not alone, as there are a variety of flashes of fire, and the smell of brimstone is more prevalent than ever. And you would notice that some things are coming out just as you intend to go in.
Ah!
I would assume I know what all of these things are.
Yeah, and you know they're not friendly.
That's fine.
Roll for initiative.
Finally, I'm bigger than something as he's fucking
Oh my
looming over the
God.
imp.
God dang it.
Oh,
Yeah, you're bigger
I
than
know.
it probably by like a foot.
I know
Yeah.
the imps, not the murder hornets.
Oh, now I roll high. Jesus.
Let's see here.
Okay, could be worse.
Hiya! Guys, going down there is going to be my weakness. I have mostly fire spells. Fuck.
I'm just gonna have to shift
Yeah.
all my spells
That's-
around when we
That's
long rest.
fine. That's fine. The imps.
Get rid of all my poison.
Ping all the imps, you'll be good. Where's my character sheet?
Oh, I could have a lot of ice stuff if I prepared it.
I fucking suck.
Okay, I have 2 Oh, I have 3. Okay, I'm
If only I prepared banishment.
Jeez.
Beyond comes back through the portal. But
Imagine if you
all
banished
I-
the fucking devil as soon as he wouldn't be able to do this. Oh my
Yeah, he just
God.
like walks back through the portal, just like.
it's
"Come on,
actually
dude,
a
what the
doom
fuck?"
song, you motherfucker.
Oh, and hold on, I have to actually turn my music on now.
Your music turned off, you scumbag.
No, I have it like real low, so I can actually hear people talk.
Scumbag!
Oh man, it's time to go nuts. Rip and tear.
All right, and that brings us to the first round of initiative. Your objective is clear. Get to this portal. It's just a leap away. And the longer you're here, the more unpleasant it becomes. Just as you're eager to get in, many things are eager to come out. And that brings us to the top of the initiative. We have a fucking swarm of imps. Let's see. This one's gonna go for the nearest available thing, which
Oh no,
would be
Percy!
good old Cobweb. Okay. Cobweb, you got a little stinger boy coming at you for a crit.
Of course.
It's
You
little
said
stinger.
The stinger
Wait,
goes right
hold
into
on,
his-
hold on.
should've
Wait,
said I
wait. You said it was a
flashbang him.
crit? Let me
Yes.
see here.
Wow, imps can actually hit. Holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
What
yeah.
do you, man?
They don't
Alright.
have a whole lot of health, but goddamn, when they hit, they hit.
Question.
Hi.
Hiya!
I
Reroll
know you.
it.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Is yeah, you have to know before it hits or misses.
Oh. Huh? No,
I'm
it's
talking
when
about
you-
my warding flare. I was gonna protect you.
Oh, okay.
But he said crit, so obviously I knew it hit
Yeah,
you.
you know this thing is gonna hit you hard. It's going right for your eye. This thing has a devious nature to it. But thanks to Runic Shield, it has to
little
roll again.
scamps.
That's my reaction, fuck.
Turning that fucking thing into a miss. You would have taken a hit. But alas, you invoke your Runic Shield, and you see its stinger on the edge of its tail would be deflected. These things have it out for blood, and they see a weak target.
Murder hornet.
Yeah,
Dagny.
pretty much.
All right.
Just run to the portal.
Mm, like I turn. Like I feel like if I don't go, I may not get another chance.
Just go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Run. There's nothing in your way.
Yeah, I think just seeing all this, people are just kind of in the midst, like getting ready to strike, and I kind of lock eyes with Percy real quick.
Bye bye.
There is urgency on his face, and he's giving you a nudge to go.
And
Go.
remembering the first time she woke up in the world where that beam was like sort of above the earth during that soul bond ritual, she runs full force into the portal.
Off you would go as you go careening into this maelstrom of fire, and you feel the intense heat overtake you. It's stifling. You feel like you're going to be incinerated. Just like that, you're gone. Brings us to the next imp. I guess so he's going for the weakest link, or at least so it thinks. That's a 17 to hit you, Cobweb.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Do it. Kill him.
You have 18
No,
AC. It misses.
yeah, that does not hit. Let's go.
You just dodge barely out of the way. You feel the tips of its wing graze your ear, as that was a near miss. All right, that brings us to the Hell Wasp. All right, let's see what it can do. Wow, it can. Okay, let's see. I see. All
Is
right.
it making an attack roll?
I know it's called a hell wasp, but shouldn't it just be called a regular wasp? I mean, all wasps.
Well,
are
that's
from
it's
hell
hell wasp in human words.
I'm
Yeah.
going to, if it's melee attacking Destined, I would
It
like
is.
to warding flare that.
No,
I'll
let
give
it.
it disadvantage.
All right. So it attacks twice. So the first attack will
Yeah,
be
just so
with
that's used up.
disadvantage. Gotcha. Okay.
So I am using my halberd, so my AC is 18. It's not 20.
Okay. The sting is at disadvantage. Okay, and all right. Even with disadvantage, it rolled pretty good. It's a 22 and a 24 to hit you.
I tried.
Yeah. Oh, I said
All
let him
right.
hit me.
Yeah. Well, I'm yeah,
Oh, no,
careful
I was
what you wish
talking
for.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Where
Let's
is
see.
my character
Condition
sheet? There we go.
immunities.
I don't think I have any immunities aside
You can't be
from...
diseased or exhausted, but you certainly
Diseased,
can
yeah.
somehow be poisoned. So
Exactly,
make a
yeah.
con save.
Where's my...
I imagine it's like tainting his
Save.
like coolant or something.
that's not gonna matter. I was gonna say I got a +2, but
All right, that's a failure.
yes.
Unfortunate. Okay.
Would I have to
uh,
make 2?
No, it's attacking once with a stinger and the other with its sword talons. Let's take a look. Oh, unfortunate. Okay, so here's what happens. You're
Yeah, I fall
ready
into
for
poison,
this. You almost have a sense of You're almost looking forward to this. You are ready for what comes
Feels like
next. It feels like home. You're ready to head back into your domain and to get answers. And to maybe break out of this form, or at least to get some sort of
Closure.
perspective to this life you've been given. However, hell has come knocking. And you take 12 plus... Okay, you take 12... 17 piercing total.
Yep.
8 fire damage. And the stinger would hit you center chest, contacting your partially exposed keystone.
Oh,
Like, hold
You
on, I
are
gotta
poisoned.
Do math.
And-
17 plus what?
Plus 5. Or no, 8, excuse me. So that is 25 damage total.
Oh, here I thought it was gonna be more.
And you have been poisoned. And I'm just gonna mark you with this. Cool thing about Hell Wasps. While poisoned in this way, the target is also paralyzed. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, but your speed is 0.
oh no.
That's fine.
And the imps seem to notice another easy target.
Uh-oh.
Aerithal.
That's fine.
God damn it, fucking destined. I had a plan, and then you had to get paralyzed.
Hey, let's go to the portal.
You want me to abandon you?
Go to the portal.
Yeah,
I
fine.
think he's
Okay.
pretty self-sufficient.
He's
Beam
not a
in.
person.
I'm going to get right here, right before entering the portal.
Gotcha.
I want to go ahead and cast. Let me. Where the fuck did I put it?
Oh shit.
As I'm going to go ahead and radiance, not of radiance, and that hits every single one of these guys.
Oh my god! That literally hits
Yeah.
them all!
Let's go.
Oh my
Reese.
god! Alright.
I said I had a plan, Arthur.
That's a lot of con saves you have to do.
Good god. Alright, I'm gonna have to do
also
this.
have to make one?
No,
No,
it's only
no,
enemies.
because
Just
I
the-
can
just the
choose
enemies.
to.
Just, like, roll one
Okay,
for all the
just
imps,
checking.
And then 2 for the wasp.
Okay. The DC is 15. Is it half on success?
Half on success, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this one passed. Is taking half. Ow! This one failed and is deleted. This one passed and is taking half. This one is going straight back to Avernus the second it got out. Sucks to suck, my guy. As for these guys, boop, and then boop, and then don't fuck with me. Come on.
Don't fuck with me. I'm the power of God and anime on my side.
Well, you're going back to your prison, boyos. Fuck both of you. And that one barely survived.
Womp womp.
And into the portal I go.
2 more con saves from you. And you. Well, that just turned this fight around, didn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, that one succeeded, and we'll take halvesies. This one did not do so hot and takes fullsies. Ow! Well, Christ on his cross. That seems to have lightened
all of
a bit.
us.
Okay. Aerithal, you are on the cusp of this portal. It is very violent as there are interdimensional forces at play. Make us. Let's see. What should this be? Make a dex save, I'd say. Duck down and avoid the maelstrom that's whipping the air here.
Well, I am trying to jump into the portal.
Oh, are you? You're going straight in?
Yeah, I'm following Dagny's example.
Alright, well, with a roll like that, it scarcely matters because you're going in either way. And you would leave this plane of existence, and I believe that also is going to make this AoE go away, either way.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. That brings us to this imp. Yeah, it's gonna go for Nadira. Got a sting
Woo.
coming your way. Let me see. See how it does. Ah, that was so close to being juicy. Alas, it would miss as it shoots a little bit high, having had a hole pierced through its tiny little shoulder. It's flying very lopsided. It literally has 1 health. Nadira, how do you respond?
This is gonna be really fun then.
Yeah,
Oh,
bitch,
yeah.
let's go.
Woo! I
And then
imagine
I'm
you're-
doing a nice little dive, tuck, and roll right into the pit.
And duck and tumble you would to someplace worse.
Cool.
Tiza.
Let's see here. I would like to do my thing. All my teammates here. Thank you. I love your punchery. But yeah, reaction, move up to your speed with no attack of opportunities. 8 temp HP for all of yous.
Nice.
530. Oh, he's just not able to get quite in. Jesus Christ, poor Percy.
I already used my reaction.
Let's see.
I technically don't have movement speed.
Yeah. Then I'll go ahead and use my movement with that expanded there to kind of take wing and do like a flying somersault before kind of evening out into a horizontal dive as I'm tackling Percy alongside myself into the portal.
There you go.
Let me see. Okay, so it's your turn. Let's see. Use that as a bonus action. So you're using an action shove, effectively.
Yeah. And
Which
I imagine-
Percy's not going to fight you on this, so we'll just say that it succeeds. So you can use your remaining movement to basically have force movement on him to push him in.
And I'll have enough to get us both through.
Perfect. And that would bring you both into the portal, which I presume you're
Avernus
just going straight
welcomes
through.
And,
Off you go.
Yeah. Cobweb has the reaction movement too, if he wants to use it.
I already used my reaction.
Ah.
I'll be fine though.
Well, make sure you get the 8 temp HP. It might save you.
Yeah, I got you.
The 2 of yous.
Yep.
Alright. And that's when this imp comes screaming in. It also sees a nice little eye socket to stick its stinger into.
Oh no!
That's a 15. That'll miss ya. You're not having it with this crap. Cobweb.
Okay. You fools, you ended your turn within punching range.
They both look really beat the fuck up.
Just
Alrighty.
knock their heads together. That'll just kill them.
I'm going to activate the mountain rune, becoming large.
Ah, alright. I got you, Holmes. We're gonna do that.
Green.
Boop. Beep. Bop. Poop. Woo!
Just
Alrighty.
Just punch.
Two fist attacks towards the imps.
Okay. One to each of them, I presume.
E. Let's see here. Hiya! And fucking rah! Well, one of those is gonna have an extra D8 because fucking giant smite. Rah!
I'll tell you right now, you don't
You
need
don't
it.
need it.
They have 1 HP apiece. They both have 13 AC. So, 1 fist, 2 fists, 2 puffs of smoke. These things just got out of the portal and you sent them right back.
Destined, are you low?
No.
No? Sick.
Couldn't you just action surge punt him inside?
I forgot I had action surge. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, you can just action surge and then just grab
two
me
more
and run
attacks
in.
on the wasp. I got you. Don't worry about it.
You're gonna what now?
Action surge, 2 more attacks on the wasp.
Okay. Go for it.
Bam.
Ooh.
And bam. Fuck.
Both hit.
Oh shit! All right, sick. And then bonus action, because of unarmed fighting, grapple Destined, or at least try to.
Technically, you can.
Oh.
I can't do anything about it.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
then-
you just say you
you're
can grab me.
It's not like you're gonna fight him on it, anyways.
You're
It's really
holding him
important.
like
I
an
imagine,
action figure.
I imagine he sort of smacks away the wasp, grabs Dismas by his partially open plates,
Don't worry.
and fucking yeets him in before jumping in
Yeah.
after him.
You go here, which technically isn't even out of this thing's range, so like there's no opportunity for it to react or anything. You simply would tuck him in and would dive into the portal.
You bitch slapped it twice and disappeared.
Avernus welcomes all.
Ending combat as everyone is cast into an interdimensional whirlwind.
Do not watch it drunk.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
We'll have bad time.
Why does this look so familiar?
This is
Jimmy
what the-
Neutron.
Oh, yeah.
this is
Brain
what-
blast!
This is what the Flintstone gummy sees when I eat it.
Feel your body's violently shifted, and there's a wave of heat through all of this before you are spit out somewhere far worse.
Connecticut.
Mood.
I'd argue that I feel much more, like, happy. It was worse out there than it was in here, because I know in here.
You trade an icy hell for an infernal one. I'm just waiting for everybody to load.
You call it hell,
I'm here.
I call it home.
Amazon has poop
You
internet.
call it Florida.
I call it Florida.
Stop being poor, Amazon.
You call it hell, I call it Iowa.
We are. Well, I suppose we'll just move forward.
Yeah.
There's a wave of heat and a flash of fire, and the smell of brimstone is permeating everywhere. As you all individually come through the portal one by one, you'd come toppling onto hard, warm stone. As you would land here, the air is immediately stifling, and the ground is wet as you come tumbling down, and would see that there is blood on this circular platform before a huge circular portal from which you would just come. Your surroundings are that of a true hellscape. You can see just off of this platform that you're on, you are suspended over a giant lake of fire, and the fiery hells radiate this orangish glow into these swirling brimstone clouds that are pooling overhead. The architecture here is truly infernal in nature, as there are these spiked chains, motifs of skulls, and all manner of disturbing infernal work that has been done to this gate that you have opened from the other side. Welcome to hell.
Okay, well, as soon as Cobweb is on the other side, he's basically sort of, basically pawing around for any sort of, any sort of indicator that a person, not a demon, has been here, basically.
Okay. That along with everyone else coming to and getting their bearings. A round of perception rolls.
Do I recognize anything specific around here, or is this kind of like a new location to me?
This location is not familiar to you.
Okay.
This type of architecture seems a bit newer than your taste.
I liked it better the old way.
My god, I finally rolled higher than Aerithal in perception.
It really doesn't happen.
Everybody
often.
round of
That
applause.
does not happen often at all. Here we are. Let's see how we did. Everyone's heads are pounding, having gone through that ordeal. You look up and can see that there is this weird metallic infernal honeycomb that is grafted to this arc, and you can see that there is something glowing and pulsing from inside one of the combs. You imagine that this may have been the handiwork of those wasps, and perhaps there is more to be seen. Off in the far distance, you can see through the flashes of infernal colors in the clouds above, there's a series of flying beasts which are difficult to identify, although many of the profile of these creatures suggest that these are large flocks of imps, and a few larger creatures too, for which you'd rather not get acquainted with. This place, out the gate, is very dangerous, but there is a way forward, as this stonework that does bear some resemblance to the other side seems to continue as it winds into these ashy hills.
Is there
Luckily,
any sign
there's
of the lamp?
the lamp. You would look up, and you can see that it has risen high, as if to survey and take in its surroundings. It's here, all right, and is slowly lowering down towards the group, as if to inspect everyone. But you feel nothing further coming from it.
But
Hey,
you
Dustin,
said
are
the stonework is basically leading somewhere?
Yes, it is.
Destin, you able to move?
Am I?
Yeah, I mean, you're
Okay,
a bit groggy, and you
Okay.
can feel there is what almost feels like a heartbeat that is now coming out of your keystone. It is glowing more vibrantly than ever, and you feel more in tune with yourself than ever before. You feel invigorated.
Yeah, I'm better than normal.
I should figure you'd be so chipper.
Alrighty, I clap my hands together. Let's move.
Yes.
There is
All
a
right.
lot of smoke in Spice Town.
I think these lanterns
Yeah.
were supposed
It's
to be some
Mexico.
sort of unmanned exploratory thing. I don't think.
Well, it seems to know the way somehow. Not sure how. But it's the best chance we have of following it.
Ugh, I think I'm gonna be sick. Ugh. Stifling heat isn't doing me any favors. And no one happens to have any good remedies to cure a headache.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I used up
no.
all my hooch.
I'm gonna be honest, I think we might want to conserve any spell abilities we all have down here. We won't know
Yes.
when we have the
Yeah.
next safe place to rest.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is probably not the best of time to feel less than ideal about ourselves. If I was ever of expertise before, I certainly am not now. This is far beyond my scope, I'm afraid. However, this definitely looks like something that they would have constructed. A stable place for them to come in and out. I wouldn't suspect that they would have possibly a laboratory of some kind here to experiment with the local environment.
Some sort
I
of
mean-
forward operating base.
Well, considering the notes said that they were coming and going several times, it's possible.
Well, presumably we're on their case then. Let's try to keep it that way.
Yes.
Follow the
You can see-
Bloodstone Road.
So do any of like these statues, do they look familiar to me? Like, are they any of the like Lord First or Lord Ninth or anything?
Yeah, that's Mike on the left, and that's Frederick on the right.
Roll history with advantage.
Adam.
Oh,
Ugh.
come on, baby. Oh,
Jesus,
on.
it got worse.
Aw.
Based on the posture and presentation of these figures, it's plain to see that these are greater devils, no doubt, fiends of Avernus. You don't recognize these, but you would imagine, based on just the context of this man-made arc portal going back home, that whoever these two are, they likely had a heavy hand in interacting with those that came in and out.
Okay.
More than that, you don't know.
Alrighty.
Okay. And you can see that the large soul lantern is on the move. It's seemingly following along the path as though routine. And presume everyone is following.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not letting it get out of my sight, and as a matter of fact, I'd like to attempt to use this just to gauge how it's feeling, basically.
Okay. Bonus action. Okay. You'd link up with the soul lantern, and rather than linking with a singular mind, it's as if you had opened your mind to an auditorium for which many voices are contesting with one another, as though they are working in unison to come to some form of consensus on a large number of things. With all these voices talking over one another, it's almost madness. It's difficult to really know exactly the scope for everything they're talking about, but there's several key words that get shouted in repetition. Cartographer would be one of them. Core is another. Avernus multiple times as evidence for where you are. Contact point, which is interesting. And there's what you can only presume to be the name of something that also rings out with a bit of venom in its voice. The term Zozros, whatever that is.
It seems that these things are aware that we're bound to the core. I don't know how, but it seems aware of our souls, at least. I mean, I guess we can only hope that it's alone in that. Especially here.
Yes.
As it begins to continue off, with everyone, I presume, beginning to follow, you can hear among the flaring of magma, fire plumes, and the roar of hell itself, there's another rising sound to greet it that is slowly becoming louder and louder. A strange buzzing that heralds the arrival of what you can only assume to be something with wings, or a large manner of creatures with wings. It's slowly getting louder.
Are there any structures nearby?
There's a good 100-foot stretch from where you are towards the Ashen Hills. Past there's plenty of jagged rocks which this path seems to wind around that might give you some visual cover. However, if anything is above you, it's going to be a hard sell to stay safe.
Alrighty, let's just move.
Yeah, like
The further
quickening
we're away
pace at
from
this
the
point.
lake,
All right. Here we go. Off you are. All right. And continuing into Avernus, you would go. This path is blown over and is cracked and deteriorated at multiple points, where the path seemingly comes to an abrupt end, as though the forces of Avernus have reclaimed this ultimately down-to-earth footpath. However, the lantern guides, and where this path is completely imperceptible, it seems to have a memory. And serving as a guide through hell, you all would follow it.
Yeah.
Each of your footsteps would gradually and increasingly warm your feet because the ash that is falling from the sky is actively keeping the ground quite hot. For those of you who don't have any solid protection, it's beginning to become quite uncomfortable, as ash is getting within a lot of your clothing for those who wear it. You feel like this smell of brimstone isn't going to come out anytime soon when all this is over.
The less
I'm
you
just
smell,
gonna use prestidigitation to try and keep the ash off me as much as possible.
the
It's
less
a-
you smell like humanity, the better.
Oh,
Ugh.
Well, that's
I
not
imagine-
fucking foreboding.
I imagine if any of us are bleeding, that might not work favorably for us either. Cobweb, are you sure that you're not dripping anywhere?
I'm not sure of anything, really. I lost a lot of blood.
Keep in mind, you are still pretty loopy. A bit drunk.
Yeah. I don't know.
For those who are looking on at Cobweb, the wad in his eye socket is completely soaked a dark red.
Settle.
But trying to keep that in the back of your mind, you keep moving forward. After a few moments of winding around these hills and slowing down around some rock crevices to ensure that that buzzing doesn't become a problem, it would eventually fade, much to your relief. Moving forwards, eventually, after some time in the distance, you all would spot what looks to be some form of oddly shaped mountain. Now keep in mind there's jagged offshoots of this dark infernal stone that's coming out of the ground among the ash heaps, but this one just seems to have a very odd and out of place silhouette to it. And as you pass by, within about 50 feet at its closest as this path winds on, you see firsthand the true horror of this landmark. This mountain appears to be millions and millions of skulls, all from different creatures stacked in a big collective pile here. Everything from dragons to halflings. There's some movement among these bones, and you would spot that writhing from these skulls would be these creatures. It's hard to get a good look. You just see a glimpse of a few legs poking out from some of the larger ones and burrowing in. They appear to be insectoid that seem to have made their home in this large grisly display. Perhaps some caution is advised.
Just don't bother them. It's probably remnants from the Blood Wars.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think these guys are going to. I don't think these guys are going to be very big on mutual respect.
Well, just keep a wide berth.
I guess so.
Skulls for the skull pile.
All right. I presume everyone, because this path again is at its closest is about 50 feet off from the base of this giant skull mountain, and this soul lantern is very silently but adamantly following the path to a T. So it's not necessarily abating itself and giving it any room. It's going straight. How are you going about this?
Madeira,
Mm-hmm.
do you have that spell handy? The one that allows us to walk quietly better.
Please hold.
Shit without a trace.
It was like, fuck, which one? Okay, yeah, here we go. Woo!
All right.
We be sneaky beans now.
Sneaky beans. God
Sneaky
damn.
beans.
Shut up, I'm tired.
No, I love that. All right.
If they're doing that, and we are sneaking by it, essentially. I did want to upcast invisibility at 3rd level to target both myself as well as Dr. Percy.
All right.
Wait,
Dr.
who?
Percy extends a warm smile as you would work your magic on him, and he disappears into an invisible whoosh. And with everyone now having passed without trace and people being invisible, everyone roll stealth. This adds a plus 10 to everything, and for those invisible, they roll with advantage.
Holy shit.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
Oh no.
Oh my god. You all
The
are
sad part
welcome.
is, I'm wearing medium armor, so I have to roll that with disadvantage.
Oh shit, you're right.
33.
Yeah,
21.
Ah, it didn't matter.
14.
That's
26.
21 as well.
Come on, Percy, don't fuck around. The boy.
Big 300-pound robot man is somehow the sneakiest.
Who would have thought?
Oh shit, it's because I stink.
This is a group roll. And I don't see any red number ones.
Nope.
Oh, you get the shit away
Unfortunate.
from here.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind it's a plus 10 to everything, so the lowest is like 14 here. So yeah, pretty damn good.
Mm.
You all pass silently, giving a wide berth to this skull mountain. As you can see, occasionally these skulls would shift around by an unseen occupant just beneath. You can see that there are 2 large sifts that seem to be almost swimming through the bones, before one of these moving masses would breach as you see a head poke out from the eye socket of a dragon.
Oh, fuck.
It'd be funny if that was
Yeah,
the
I
same
figured.
guy from earlier.
It probably is.
I mean, who's
Get
to
out,
say
get
it's
out, get out.
not?
It sniffs the air and would survey very leisurely the landscape. And you see its head suddenly perk up and gets deadlocked on something. It's not in your direction, it's further back. And you would spot, or rather here, there is a almost, it sounds like stuff upturning ash. A lot of somethings, a pack of something perhaps. As you hear these deep growls of something that is very dog-like. And you'd see over the nearby hill, there's 7 of these.
Fire puppies.
They are not interested in the bone pile, or even you for that matter. They are heading in the direction of the gate that you had opened. Perhaps they have a smell for this sort of thing, as they are moving with great haste. The bony devil would completely rise out of the mountain, and in this creepy stalking motion begins to pursue after the pack. Having no attention drawn to yourselves, you all would, well, pass without trace, moving forwards and avoiding confrontation. Catching up with the soul lantern, you continue for a little while, and further it would delve away from the lake of fire into somewhere a little bit more grounded, although it's just as warm regardless.
Am I like picking up of anything that's familiar? Like landscape wise?
Roll perception with advantage.
Hey.
Good so far.
Hey!
This does strike you as familiar to a good extent. You're not sure if you've been here at some point or if you know of this place from passed down knowledge, but this definitely appears to be a place of residence for some more powerful figures. The exact names escape you, but you know this place is a little bit more, how they say, down to earth than other parts of Avernus. It seldom sees any combat from the wars, but you imagine if anything goes stomping around here and would irritate some of the greater devils that like to home here, perhaps it is not a good situation for them. Either way, you advise that you should keep a low profile.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Why would anyone want to stay in this place?
Yeah, the thing is, it's not for our mortal minds to understand. You gotta understand that these things are born from primeval chaos.
But how do you not go mad just seeing all this?
It's bold of you to assume that they aren't.
How do you not go mad when you see Highshire? Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes.
Well, I kind of went mad either way in my own work. I suppose there's a lot of things that can drive one crazy. I think our minds are a little bit on the fragile side, relatively speaking.
I mean, if these guys are anything like Destin, then I'm pretty sure they think it's just fucking dandy.
Yeah.
Well, this would be
Considering-
normal for them, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, we have somewhat of a society.
I didn't say you didn't.
And speaking of society, important. I don't know if I would call them archdevils or just higher ups live here. I think I might know of them, but I don't want to confirm that yet.
The fuck is
Can I try and think back and see if I actually read anything on the Nine Hells or whatever?
Can certainly try. Roll history.
It's a 19.
There's mentions of it, and it's very much like what you're seeing here as far as description goes. The things that you can recall is that it is, at least Avernus, from what you do understand, a place of constant strife. A place designed and thriving off of endless violence. There's plenty of powerful things here that want to fight and aren't particularly picky, and is brimming with heat, magma, all manner of hazardous environments. There's not really much to take from it other than this is a place fit for no one.
It must be far from any sort of wars, I suppose.
They're near constant, so if there's none of that here, then somewhere else.
Yeah.
Arathal, you are surveying around and trying to get a good scope of this place and just trying to keep 2 ears open. And perhaps you weren't paying attention, so busy looking on the horizon that you weren't looking down. But there's all of a sudden a push, a force that would be applied to your side as you are shoved off to the left as if to be pushed by somebody. And it topples you for a little bit as if someone here did it, but there was nobody there. And you look down at where you're about to step, and there is a small pocket of lava in the path that you almost stepped into, that this force intervened.
The floor is lava.
Ah,
You
Well then.
hear a voice coming from your shoulder. Mind your step, Twinkle Toes.
What the fuck?
What?
would blindsight give me like any insight to where they are, like exactly.
Ping it.
What the fuck? Nugget?
Blind sight. Okay, 1 second. Is it in features?
Yeah, it should be in features, but I always thought blind sight was more of like seeing in pitch darkness rather than.
Well, oh, okay, so like
blind sight, you'd be able to see through invisibility.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Fucking. Okay, 1 second. I need to go off site because I don't have it in my features. Blind sight 5e.
You don't see them, it's more so you sense them.
Okay. A creature with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within us. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I just kind of sense them.
You feel something manifest on your shoulder, very small. Something no bigger than the size of your fist that would appear and as quickly as that happens disappear. But apparently was the source of this influence to have that shove to save you from stepping in a pit of magma. But as soon as it was there, it's gone, and you look over and there's just a small puff of smoke on said shoulder. It's gone. And Destin, because you crit, your radar immediately goes up, and you detect a powerful presence, and then it's immediately gone.
Powerful as in, like, would it possibly be an Archduke? I doubt it, but or just, like, strong enough. Yeah, just strong.
Just a very strong presence.
See, I don't know if that's good or bad. We're being watched regardless.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, I assume is the same thing that saved me from stepping in that pit.
What? What? You guys mean the fart cloud?
What?
Yeah.
The
you
smoke.
kidding
There's
me?
smoke. That's all I saw.
Let's keep
Keep
moving.
moving.
All right. New round of perception rolls.
Am I still rolling at advantage or just regular?
You're rolling straight.
Go.
Hey,
Ooh, a
let's
cracked
go.
screen. Cool.
Yeet.
It's been a while since I've seen that
Aw,
happen.
you gotta be kidding me.
Aw, buddy.
How the mighty have fallen.
Sweetie pie.
I'm too busy longingly staring at the horizon of my home.
Pumpkin.
Memories of the things I've killed, the wars I've fought.
All right. Yeah, Destin, you get a bit lost in your own thoughts as a lot of stuff is whirling through your mind, and you're more occupied in trying to straighten that out than to perceive your surroundings. Everyone else, though, has their wits about them, especially after that odd interaction. Moving forward, Cobweb, you with your one good eye, you almost feel like even though you're a little bit wibbly wobbly, that the loss of your eye is perhaps strengthening the one good eye you still got. And you keep it sharp. And you hear a faint noise among the hellscape. And you are especially keen on this because through your many trials of being someone who's not afraid of a fight, you know the groans of dying agony when you hear them. And this is one of those cases. It's off to the far left. It's off in the distance and it's heavily obfuscated by ash clouds. But there is something large and clad in metal that is crawling along the ground. You would spot something of humanoid arms that it is featuring. And straining your eyes, you eventually would see something a bit concerning.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
Ganondorf,
shit.
what are you doing here?
This large individual is crawling along the jagged obsidian ground. And it's hard to make out why at first, but you notice that this large humanoid creature is twisted in excruciating pain. You look down to see why he's not standing up, and you would quickly realize that he can't, as his body is severed in half at the waist. There are entrails that are dragging along the ground, and he is relieved of his legs.
Cobweb stops dead in his tracks, his one good eye bulging out of its socket as he sort of drops his bag on the ground.
He should have quit when he was a torso.
What are you doing?
Oh. By King Hegaton. It's a fucking fire giant.
What?
Over there. You don't see it? It's over there. He's hurt. He's hurt bad.
Don't go over.
What do you mean, don't go over?
If something was strong enough and big enough to bisect a giant, why would you want to go and potentially fight it as well? Because it's obviously it's fresh.
You may be the biggest.
I wouldn't expect you to understand. That thing over there is my kin.
Godweb, you may be the biggest, but there's always something bigger than you. Please.
What is it? He's sort of disappointed at this, just because he's only ever really heard of giants in stories. But seeing one in real life, it's kind of a bummer that he's gotta leave him to die. The poor bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Fine, let's go. Let's just speed up, I guess.
Yes.
Alright. Leaving this scene to whatever violence had created it, you would move forward. Leaving this torso behind in the fields of ash. Some time would pass, and the path would wind downwards and would descend into what appears to be a tunnel leading into a craggy mountain. You approach and see that it is pitch black. The lantern is fully insistent on moving forward, and you can see that there is a strange inky darkness that is leaking out from it. Maybe this is magical, but you're not entirely sure. Either way, this looks a bit foreboding.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving forward.
Yeah.
All right. The lantern would move forward and seemingly is enveloped in this inky black haze that is in this tunnel, or everyone would move forward along with it. And upon contact of this black miasma, all sound that you can hear is suddenly muffled.
Oh god.
There is no churning of fire, no storm clouds booming above, no heat cracking and forming earth. Even your footsteps, even your own thoughts, go dead silent. And you begin to hear screaming. Everyone begins to hear it at once as you're entering this. Everyone make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Wizzy save, my favorite.
Whoever's within 10 feet of me, add 2.
I feel that's pretty much everybody if we're grouped together.
I'd say so.
Ooh,
Wizzy
that's actually
save.
good for me. 21.
Fuck.
Wait.
19.
6.
So 13.
Okay. Thought I had something for it. Oh well. Let's see here.
Nothing happens then.
He played the oh noise.
Okay. All right. Everyone adds a +2.
Oh,
Let's see.
adorable.
So
Wow, look at that
Cobweb.
friggin' notebook, man.
And Destined and Diza would fail this check. To everyone, you would start to hear screams echo throughout. Some are in your face. Others are swirling around you as though being swept up by the infernal whirlwind that had brought you here. And to those who failed, you find yourself getting disoriented, straying from the group, as it is equal parts dark as it is maddening, as you're bumping into the craggy walls of this tunnel, and you appear to be losing your way. Without assistance, you don't know how you can keep up with everyone, and you feel like you're going to be left behind in the maddening dark.
Everything's invisible!
B-Man,
Yes.
do I notice this?
You, with your blind sight, you are much more keen on everyone. But yes, you can see that there are people straying off and are becoming lost and are starting to be left behind.
Question.
Hey guys, you want to roll back to what happened back at the Dragon Cave? Because I could.
Well, we couldn't hear you anyway.
Yeah, no one can hear anything except for the screams, and you can barely see 2 feet in front of you.
If I'm bumping into things, I feel like I would take my lantern out to light it, so I could see, so I'm not bumping into things.
You activate your lantern, but it hardly helps. Like I said, I mean, this
Okay.
miasma is something that's a bit more otherworldly than just a typical fog cloud, unlike what you had seen up until this point.
I really don't want to give away our position. Fuck.
Is anyone
Flashbang.
doing anything about the people being
Fuck it,
led
I'm
astray?
gonna like kind of try to stop everyone so the others can catch up. Just like tapping them on the shoulder, like stop.
Wait a minute. Oh, I can't see anyone. It doesn't matter. I'm a fool.
I mean, has he walked over to, like, me and Cobweb to tap our shoulders, or?
So by this point, let's see who failed. Destin, Diza, and Cobweb. You are wandering, like you've lost sight of where everyone is. It's only been a few short moments, so you don't feel like you're too far. But yeah, if you don't have blind sight or true sight or something similar, you can't see more than what's like immediately in front of your face.
I'm still connected to the lantern. Can I sense the direction that it is moving? Or is that not... No, that wouldn't... I don't think that would work.
Ping it again. I don't think it gives you direction. I think it's just an internal link, if anything.
Yeah, it's more like a call.
Yeah,
And I feel like you would also know if the connection was broken, correct?
Yeah.
I would feel like that's only once we got so far away. Or you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now I can still see everyone.
Within the range of blind sight, yes, and you can see that people are unknowingly drifting away.
Alright, since I have the movement for it, and blind sight will help me sense not to fall down the giant fucking hole, yeah, I'm just gonna try to regather everyone.
Okay. Let me see. Just kind of move quickly and tug at everyone and redirect everyone. I'd say just roll athletics to catch up before they wander off too far and get lost in the dark.
I'm a wanderer.
10.
Oh, I'm a wanderer.
It takes a lot longer than you would like, but eventually, after a few minutes of corralling people and keeping them in line in the right direction, your efforts would eventually have a hard-earned success.
Okay.
And after some agonizing minutes of being disoriented, the grip of the screaming darkness would slip from your minds as vision is restored and you have arrived at the far side of the tunnel.
That was almost bad.
Let me see, I'm gonna roll a d6. 2. Cobweb. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Don't like how he said that.
Why you gotta pick on the disabled guy, huh?
Try to disable you, motherfucker.
Here we are.
Hey, you gotta take my battery out.
Shutting down.
You finally have reprieve as you're out of that mess and you're not bumping into the darkness or being screamed at anymore. And just as you breathe that hell air in a sigh of relief, you would hear some scratching on Brimstone to your immediate left as something is lunging out at you.
Ew, fuck.
Was this
no,
Diablo
now
with
what?
the weird goat men?
Oh
But
god.
did they add you to
that's,
Before this thing can get too
Balazu.
close to you, you would see as it mid-lunge, there is something invisible that connects with its head and has it careening off in a direction, ass over kettle, as it would land harshly on the hard stone, completely disoriented as though getting struck by a powerful force. As though something had just slapped the daylights out of it before scrabbling to its feet, giving you a look over its shoulder, and slinking its head downwards would meander off around a bend and is gone.
Cobweb sort of looks down at his hands and he's like, "Holy shit, did I do that?"
No.
You
I don't think I can
hear-
do that.
You hear a low voice just on your shoulder, Cobweb. What a bad boy to even wonder if they could learn.
Ew.
Okay.
as he slaps his shoulder.
There's a
Ew,
puff of
bug.
smoke again.
I think we need Chris Hansen to intervene.
Yeah.
It's like we have a benevolent entity looking over us.
Benevolent in the hells? I seriously doubt that.
Yeah, you couldn't hear my sarcastic tone.
Well, I mean, it might be. It might also want something from us.
It probably wants something, and we're going where it wants us to go, it seems.
If it targets me next, I'm gonna freak out.
Freak out about everything.
Sitting here staring at the goat man, wondering why it's not on like the front lines of our
Hot
war.
calling the kettle black, assassin.
Well, oh, okay, all right.
That is true.
The-
Dog has a tendency to scream and cry.
I'm going to clip your wings when I get the chance.
No.
Now who's a little assassin? Damn!
Jesus, I think the fucking ambient violence is seeping into our heads.
Well, I know it wasn't of your own fault. You nearly killed me.
Yeah, Bubby.
I am thoroughly enjoying this.
It is mildly entertaining.
When it bounced off like that invisible wall type thing, was it just one part of it that looked like it connected, or is it like smacked its whole body into it, like it ran into a straight
Like
up,
something
wall?
punched it in the head with such tremendous force that the rest of its body went tumbling.
Okay.
Force.
Yeah, I'm still wondering why that thing ain't like fighting in the war, if there even is one.
Probably because its job is to hang out in the tunnels and fucking ton punch anybody dumb enough to wander down here.
I mean, they were bred for war combat and only that. My home has changed.
It seems
There's
so.
many-
Yarn.
Secret tunnel.
Presume everyone's
Tunnels
moving
is
forward.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah,
Well,
following the lantern as much as possible.
Yeah, let's hope the acne goat doesn't try a second time.
With
Goat,
a
I
hit
can't
like
believe
that,
you
I doubt
can-
it will.
Can't believe you convinced B-Man to add you to the game.
I know.
God
right?
damn it.
It's crazy.
Christ, that'd be the day. Alright. Beginning to move forward. There's a particular glow on the road ahead. You've entered a clearing. In this road isn't something of a straight shot. that is leading off to what appears to be some weird out of place glow just ahead. The road goes straight into it. And going off previous perception rolls, as the clouds would part, you get a clearer picture for what's dead ahead. Something out of place and a bit concerning would come into view. It looks like some form of village. And you can see that this village is in an absolute inferno. In an all-out fire, actively burning to the ground. How this is present in the hells is mind-boggling.
Oh, look at the pictures I sent you.
Gross.
And of course, your road leads straight to it. And the lantern is wasting no time. Almost picking up a little bit.
Does it look like the fire's moving unnaturally? Or is it just burning?
We're in hell.
It's burning.
Okay.
Okay, as we approach, I ready myself to cast control flames, just sort of creating a creating a sort of path for us to safely walk. If indeed these are non-magical flames.
Not so
Okay.
secret fire.
We're in the
tunnel.
hells. It's probably magic.
Fair.
These spits of embers in just idle burning shards that are passing through the air get pushed away with control flames taking effect, and almost makes the air a little bit cooler to breathe and gives you a little bit of an easier time drawing breath in a place like this. And you begin to move forward towards this burning village in the middle of hell. And high above in the ashen clouds, you would hear there's a flash is looking up as there's two large creatures with these huge infernal wings that pass by overhead. They seemingly either haven't spotted you or are not interested in you. You're not sure which. But those are also headed straight in the direction of the burning village. Perhaps it's a point of potential interest. What this may mean is up for interpretation, but whatever just flew overhead was large.
This feels familiar.
It really does, doesn't it?
Why?
I think at this point, Dagny is sort of lightly clinging onto whoever is near her, like either like grabbing at a piece of their clothing or like sort of holding onto their belt or whatever.
That's my ear. No, I'm kidding.
Dagny, yeah, you're feeling
She's
yourself.
white-knuckling his ear.
You're feeling yourself tense up a little bit, and you're breathing in and out of your mouth, and this dry heat of air that you're breathing in, you're not really used to it. And although you're not sickly like you used to be, this stifling air just makes your skin crawl a little bit, and you can't help but feel your mouth dry out, as if you just need to drink water or something just to retain your sanity here. Just something to get the taste of brimstone out of your mouth. It's all dried up, and as you would instinctually maybe go for your water skin or something, or just have a nervous twitch of your hand, you feel a something guide your hand out and away in an outstretched motion, and there's a puff of smoke as a wine glass would suddenly appear in your hands, with it filled to the brim with a red liquid, and there is a voice on your shoulder that speaks to you. No need to turtle up, dear. Please, enjoy your stay.
Don't drink it.
Who are you?
What is this?
The legendary booze bender.
Do
Yeah,
I rec-
no,
Wait.
like
It appeared on my shoulder? Or whose shoulder did it appear on?
It was on Dagny's shoulder this time,
Okay.
a puff of smoke. And this time, there is something remaining, as Dagny has been gifted what appears to be a wine glass.
Don't drink
no.
it.
Well, I was trying to say before everybody went all in a tizzy.
Mhm.
I like she feels the motion of her hand and then sees the wine glass. She just sort of staring at it wide-eyed. She hears the voice and she just instinctually says, "Who are you?"
You would hear the faintest of a chuckle in the hellish wind, but there is no response.
Are you
Did-
helping us or is it for your own end?
Nothing.
Is dog lost in the sauce too?
God damn it.
She dumps the contents of the glass onto the ground.
It would sizzle, making contact with the stone, and quickly evaporates.
In her mind, she wants to throw the glass, but she knows that will draw attention, so she just puts that glass into the bag of holding and will grab her water skin and take a drink.
That you do, and you quench your thirst on your own terms. As the march towards this blazing village is imminent, and in the upturning of wind, you can hear these screams of anguished people, presumably people on fire.
They've really upgraded the ambiance here since I've been gone.
And I assume that everyone is keeping up with the now quickened pace of the lantern towards this burning town.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
With a lot of questions raised and a uncertain path ahead, everyone would continue marching forward off towards this anomaly, where I think this is a good spot to end the session.
Let's go.